one. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it started. What's up, everybody? This is Kid from Cincinnati, coming to you live, grimy from the basement, from this dirty basement. I mean, it ain't really dirty, but it's grimy though. You know, home of the asbestos. We got the mold, raccoons. That's a true story. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. All right, since Hero's a raccoon, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna get this out of the way. All right, so there was a raccoon that I remember coming home one day. Garage door had opened, and I see this big bushy raccoon tail, and it's like, so I'm like, oh, whoa! I'm like, so I turn around and like, I run like to get back in my car, and then like I look back, the raccoon's gone, so I'm looking for her. So I'm like, man, what's going on? So I parked the car in the garage, and then for days I kept noticing that my garage had like scratch marks and stuff on it. So apparently the raccoon had babies in there. And then the babies had died. Yeah, it sucked. Yeah, because I tried to catch the raccoon because I thought it was still inside. So I set it like I had a raccoon trap, and then I noticed that they were trying to get in. And I was like, oh shoot! And I dug out and I saw babies in there, but they had died. It sucked. So, but yeah, it was some raccoons in there. We probably got rats and other kind of harmful pollutants as well. Say what? Yeah, can you hear me? Oh no, you're not supposed to be able to hear me. Yeah, you shouldn't be able to hear me because we're going through the same stream. So hey, and just let y'all know, can the chat hear me? Can anybody hear me? Is anybody having problems hearing me? Can you hear me, Peter? You hear me?
Yep,
Got it. So all right, so we're live and we're good to go. So I got right here, we got a really good, I'm not going to say episode, but we're going to have a good stream because I got some surprises for y'all. Most people know what's getting ready to go down, but right now I got my main man right here, John Ramsey, aka Goku Black. How we doing today, John? Introduce yourself, sir. Like villains? What kind of villains we talking about? Are we talking about
like
Carnage villain? Or are we talking about Joker villain? Or are we talking about businessman villain that like to, screw people over and, take all the money? What kind of villain we talking about this morning?
Well, if we were playing KOTOR, I would be a gray Jedi.
Okay, gray Jedi. All right. So I can definitely rock with that. So, but just be advised, everybody, this will be a mature stream. It just will. Sailor's language will be used on occasion, so be advised, and please forgive any technical difficulties we have because we definitely will have them. So be patient, please be patient. In the chat, if you ever have any issues, let us know. I'm gonna try to follow the chat. I'm gonna try to follow it because I'm gonna be doing like a million things at a time. So if there's any issues, chat, definitely just let me know, and we will be able to get those addressed accordingly. So that being said, without further ado, please welcome lead programmer Pieter Visser. It's good to have you here with us today, Peter. Introduce yourself.
Hey man, thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate all the effort you've put into making this stream happen. It's amazing.
All right.
The technical achievement before the chat started now, it's just like, it's amazing that you was up, reset everything and get everything set up. So, but yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh, look, man, it's been a long time coming, real long time coming. I'm happy to have you on the stream right here today. Like I said, we will have technical difficulties, had to reboot the game. But and it wasn't nothing to do with the game. It's something that we got going on our end. So it's first time, like you guys wouldn't believe how we got this set up. So I'm gonna give y'all the skinny on how I got this set up. So I have the game running on 2 monitors. Well, I did have it run on 2 monitors, but yeah, I have the game running on 2 monitors, and then I have to use a program called Voice Meter Banana to be able to connect 2 microphones to 1 PC and 2 headphones, so and all through 1 audio stream. So you guys can also hear, my main man Goku. Y'all can hear everything. So let me see, last week or so I've been messing around with this, but I think we got it worked out. We shouldn't have too many more technical issues. So, but But like I said, if you guys ever have an issue hearing this, let me know. Full disclosure, I was involved in development of Jitsu Squad on some level, not a big level. However, I want you guys to know that this is not a paid sponsorship. All views, comments, and opinions are my own and do not represent my employer or Tanuki Creative Studio. And no one is reviewing this content before it's uploaded or it goes live. So, for people who don't know, Tanuki is a Japanese raccoon dog. See, I didn't know that. Like I knew Mario 3 that the Tanuki suit raccoon, but I just never put it together. So, but I didn't know. Well, the thing is, like I knew it was raccoon, but I didn't know there was a such thing as a raccoon dog. Had no idea. So that's obviously probably where the inspiration from Hero came from. So, but like I said, guys, we got a banger for you guys today. Whatever the hell the fuck your kids are calling it. But yeah. But
I'm learning a lot of these references from Jitsu Squad, like just working with the team. The Karakasa, the umbrella, is apparently a spirit that
Oh.
haunts your house if you leave the umbrella wet and closed. You have to leave it open. If you leave it wet and closed, the spirit will come down and
Oh.
haunt you.
So that's a you see that over here in America. I remember like going to schools and like our teacher, she would bring her umbrella and have it open. Yeah. Oh wow. I
So
didn't know that was a.
they have a specific, because they have spirits for all types of things, and this is just this one specific spirit. Is if you leave it closed,
Oh.
there's nobody on the inside, and it turns into an evil spirit. So that's how they get the kids to remember to leave their umbrellas open.
Oh wow.
Sorry, I think
That is
I'm not sure
what's
about
up.
Karakata in this one. Yeah, it's that spirit of the
That's
wet
badass,
umbrella.
man. See, and this is why I like, fucking with other people. Because, like, this is why I don't get racism. Because, like, you learn so much from different cultures, man. I don't get it. It's like, why wouldn't you want to learn something about somebody's different? Like, I got a new
I
wrinkle in
love it
my
when
brain.
people find that writing like
I,
interesting. So get someone to talk about them, but about their people and stuff, and you get fantastic stories.
that is awesome. See, look, shout outs to my mom, Barbara Jean Washington. Shout outs to her. Love you, mama. See, she used to always say when you learn something new, you get a new wrinkle in your brain. So shout outs to mom. Love you, mom. Mwah. But yeah, so what I like to do before I play Jitsu Squad, like this is what I like to do. I like to go into training. This is what we do for any game that really has training. Like even Final Fight LNS, I know you had mentioned that before. Any
Yeah,
game has a
I
training
even
mode.
played as well.
Yeah, and I don't understand. I don't understand that a lot of games like nowadays, like beat 'em ups and stuff, don't have training modes. It's like a lot of them don't.
I
A lot.
recently played through the Takeover, which is also like a really good brawler.
Right? Yeah, I have
And that
that
was
one.
the first thing I did was I checked the tutorial and I went into training and I got myself familiar with like all the combos and stuff, and I was like,
Right.
right, let's go. And it was
Yeah,
an
they.
absolute blast.
Yeah, and like I think like all beat 'em up should have that. That should be like a standard. Just like fighting games now. I mean, like for a long time that wasn't a thing in fighting games, and it started happening. So, but yeah, I like to go into training mode because man, this game is like for me like so the combat is so complex. Like it can exhaust you mentally. You know what I mean? Like as far as like how deep it is. Like on the surface, very simple. You can mash and just have fun with it. But like that's at the surface level. But when you dig in, like there's just as you saw, like you saw my meteor video, like my you saw a meteor video. You can really dig in and like really get into this thing. I'm trying to find a highlighter because I do got notes, and that's another thing I do when I do run a stream. Like when I'm trying to organize it, I do have an outline and notes, and I'm trying to have a marker or highlight so I can black out what we've already talked about because I don't want to keep repeating the same topic. Because my ass would do that. Like I'll keep talking about the same shit over and over and over. And like nobody wants to hear that. Ain't nobody here for that. So I'm trying to find a marker. My man Goku Black, he'll give you guys a little training action while I do this. See, that's another reason training is good. Because you can, if you're unprepared, then you can have somebody cover your ass while you're getting prepared.
Do that.
Yeah. All right, let me see. Yeah, this highlighter sucks. Hold on. We ain't gonna
So
use
the thing
that one.
about the combat that basically makes it deep, the key behind that is just I remember an interview with one of the designers for Guilty Gear,
Uh huh.
and he said specifically he wanted to. He really wanted to be able to be free when creating the characters themselves. Wanted to have wild hitboxes, things that don't make sense.
Right.
But like, he never wanted to limit himself to only move within a certain range or certain limit. He wanted to go crazy. And
Right.
in order for them to be able to do that, they had to make defensive mechanics that sort of kept up with it. And that's where...
Okay.
So hit stun deterioration, that's used in the Marvel vs. Capcom series as well. I thought that was a really clever way of making combos non-infinite. So
Right.
as you're stuck in a combo, it just gets less and less and less, and after a while, you almost certainly can tech.
Right.
And
I think Skullgirls did that too, didn't they?
Yeah, so I really like the idea of being able to have, sort of, I didn't have to worry about the combat mechanics. I could make them wild if I wanted to. But if you sort of keep these rules or this rule set, you never get to the point where it's that unfair.
Gotcha.
And that was really, really sort of like the reason why I stuck with when I went with sort of like the Guilty Gear Marvel versus Capcom model of sort of combat mechanics.
Gotcha. Okay, I follow you. So, like I was saying, like I do know Skullgirls has a mechanic like that too, where like and they did it really unique to where if you repeat it like the same loop over, then you'll be able to burst out of it. So in that game, yeah. So in that game, what you wanted to do is like just reset. You wanted to do resets a lot in that game.
Yeah. And also not repeat those repeat those chains. I saw some really incredible combos being done by people. And yeah, I just do my one. And just the programming behind it. That guy, who's the programmer behind
Mike Z. Yeah, he's the programmer for that game. Yeah.
And yeah, he's like crazy good at that type of stuff.
Oh,
thinking about like sort of what you need to keep track of to be able to make sure that it's not a loop that's been repeated before.
I don't want that job. I don't want it.
We have so many enemies, and it's like now let's just go to the easy way out.
Right, man. I tell you, I do not want that. Not at all. Not at all. And like I watched. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I just mentioned it's a really unique mechanic, and they have a lot of things like that. It's part of why it still has a community, and they're still bringing out content for it. It's just a really good fighter. Solid mechanics. And,
I know something just came out for it.
Yeah. I'm really glad that they still have a community that's sort of behind them, and they can still bring out updates.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, something we saw with Killer Instinct as well. I think they did a really good model as well.
Right.
With sort of like one free character on rotation.
Oh yeah.
They sell support for a very long time as well. Also one of my favorite fighting games.
Yeah, I know fighting games have borrowed that from like League of Legends, where they have a rotating free champion, or rotating free champion. So yeah, that's a really cool idea to get people to get in there and try it out. I really like that.
Definitely. When I was playing some of those games, that was definitely what got me into them. It's like every week I could try something new, and you get your friends together and you're like, all right, let's try out a few new characters and get your asses kicked. By all the talk here, guys.
Oh shit! Hey, I see you, Mr. Black Love. I told you I'm real bad at like following the chat. But yeah, man, I know, man. Like if I can get Kev the Galaxy Bender in my gamer tag, if I can fit it, I would probably do that. But it's too long. I don't know. But yeah, I want to get a picture drawn of like me being a Galaxy Bender, because I'm a huge fan of Avatar: Last Airbender, and I'm a Toph fangirl. Like I love that character, like a blind Earthbender. Like so Yeah, that'd be cool if I was like a galaxy bender. I can bend space and time. That'd be neat. I should make that. That's trademark right now. Kev the Galaxy Bender. I I bend space and time. Yeah, but yeah, so that's what my bending ability is. That's trademark. If you want to use it, you got to pay me, but I'll let you use it for free. It's cool. But real, yeah, I'm all about the free, man. Like you know how I am. Like a lot of people, they just, like a lot of people take. I need to balance that out by giving. So, but hey, tell me what, Peter. So we gonna dive into, I got a bunch of questions lined up for you, and like chat, if you guys got questions, just put them in the chat, and I'll try to get those answered for you. If Peter can answer, he will, and if he can't, he can't. You just got to deal with it. So but first off, Peter, tell me this, man. Outside of the game, outside of Jitsu Squad, what? Tell us about yourself in general. Like, what do you like? What are some things you like to do? Even outside of gaming. Like, what are things you enjoy in your personal time in your life?
So I actually have quite a wide variety of interests.
Okay.
I always have.
The most bizarre one, I guess.
No, it's nothing like that. It's I really enjoy gardening as well. I
Oh,
really
okay.
I like the idea of sort of being self-sufficient.
Okay.
And to that end, we've like always structured our whole garden. We don't have much of a grass area. It's mostly just covered with beds, and growing our own food. That's a really fun thing for me to do. Like in summer, you have all the watermelons that you can grow, because they grow really well here in summer. This year we had like 10 of them. And then tomatoes as well, and you make your own tomato sauce.
Okay.
I've got fig trees, apple trees, a whole bunch of granadella trees. So like I told my wife, one of my dream houses would be a back garden that's fully, there's no plant there that you can't eat.
Oh, okay.
And so we're basically trying to get that going and have just, way more food from the garden. And that's something I really enjoy doing. It's, it's a nice sunny day, you go outside in the garden, work a little bit. And, so that's probably something a lot of people don't know about me. It's like, it's a fun hobby for me.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, my parents, they love gardening. Like they love gardening. Like my dad, his yard, like the best yard on the street. And yeah, it's the best yard on the street. And like he takes a lot of pride in, and he has like a extra lot too. Like his yard is huge, so we gotta get him like a ride on or something, because he's getting old, man. And like I'm like, Dad, you can't be like pushing all that grass. So chat, let's donate to my dad's fund. Get my dad. I mean, he can pay for it probably, but I don't know. But it'd be nice to do. I want to get him one. I want to get him at least a stand-up one. Cause my dad, he's a hell of a guy. Like I'm not gonna talk about our backstory, but just know, like my dad, he's the fucking man. Like he's a hell of a guy. And like every time I can do for him, man, like I break my neck to do it. Like, cause that's for most of my family anyway, but for him especially, like he's special in that way. Like he told me do anything, I'll do it for him. You know what I mean? Like that's how much respect I have for my dad. That's how much I love him. But yeah, like I know my grandmas, they used to garden and stuff too. That was a normal thing in the South, just gardening. But like in certain, I think in Michigan or Detroit somewhere, man, in some states it's illegal to have a garden. It's illegal. Yeah. Mind blown, right? Yeah, it's illegal. Yeah. It's like, and then like there's people who can make their house self-sufficient. Yeah, I know. I see it, money. I see your question, Mr. Black Love. I got you. But yeah, it's illegal in certain states to have your garden. You get fined and shit like that. And then like if you make, there's one lady I think in Florida or something like that. Her house was completely self-sufficient. Like she had like solar panels. She captured her own water. Had her own septic system. And they was like, you can't do that. They told her she couldn't do that. You know, like to put her in jail for that. Yeah, it's like, man, land of the free, right? Land of the free if you got the money, but we ain't gonna get into that. But yeah, but that's just crazy. Like, and that just made me think about that when you say you're a big fan of being self sufficient, and like it's crazy that you can get penalized for that. It's so dumb. So, but yeah, so I got a question. Go ahead, go ahead. Yeah, that's ridiculous. It blew my mind when I found that out. Blew my mind. I was like, that is. I was like, that's ridiculous, man. Makes no sense. But I got a question from the chat. Mr. Black Love said, "How difficult is it to balance a game like this?"
Okay, so what we did start with the design process for this game was first make the characters. And make them fun to play with. It's a lot similar to how you would design a platformer. You first design the platforming mechanics, and then you design sort of everything around those dimensions. So you play with it until it feels good, and then you sort of, okay, this is a nice platform size for like 1 height, 2 height. And then you sort of like, that becomes your template for creating stages. So creating the characters first was sort of like the template. And then after that, we had to sort of figure out how can we make enemies difficult or give the player a challenge based on sort of like that being the starting point. And very big shout outs to Akli, Tuli. That's how you pronounce his surname.
Okay.
He designed most of the enemies in the game and most of the bosses. I think I only designed one. And he really did like an amazing job balancing the difficulty for the game because adding armor to them, making more of them attack, and giving them like interesting attack patterns. Like some have ranged, some have short range. Like the storm moves, especially. That was really cool. He really did a great job of making enemies that actually challenge you as a player, even though your toolkit is so powerful. But that's sort of like a collaborative, I would say, between two teams, like the guys creating the enemies and the guys creating the players, to sort of just sort of be in contact with each other and make sure that you can make something that is still challenging and fun to play.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's big shout outs to him, man. Like, cause the combat, like, it is like I watched in the Discord and on Twitter people complain about the difficulty when you guys launched it. I thought it was fine. I thought it needed to be a little bit harder. I was like, yeah, this is like it's really hard, but like it should be a little bit harder. But I mean, you want everybody to be able to play it, and like and I saw some of the changes and stuff, like how the bosses behave and their attack patterns and how often they do certain moves. I saw those adjustments, but like I said, I was fine with the original difficulty. So I remember after the update, we were playing it, and I was like me and Goku had played, and we just like ripped through it. And I'm like, man, what the.
We didn't actually continue until we had to get to the last level after the update. I just want to add, like, this is the first time I played with Aros, and you see I'm already like getting 20, 23 hits. I like the combat is awesome just in general for everybody. As long as you generally know how to play, you can kind of play with everybody.
Yeah, Aros was definitely one of my favorite characters to design. I just had this idea of like sort of the fight always being around him, and that's why I gave his stomp sort of like an area of hit effect. Like I wanted him to, when the fight is around him, damage is being done to everyone. And that was just a sort of like the central theme for him. Like the battle is where he is.
Right. Yeah, I love that. I really do love that. Like. I remember when I first experienced that, like I was like, "Holy shit!" I was like, I said when he lands, his land has a AOE, and I was like, I said, and I noticed you can grab after that too. I said you can chain all that together, and my mind was like blown, man. And then like I said, me and Goku, we blasted through the game, and then I was like, man, I said Goku, we might have to just play this on Master, man. Like, and then like I did a test run with Aros on Master, and I was like, yeah, this is very appropriate. And then I can't wait. I can't wait until like the more difficult difficulty is added, because like after like for me it's like the combat's a lot like a fighting game, so it I love playing fighting games at a high level, so naturally like you will just be like, I want to do more and more and more. And like Achilles did a really good job making the AI push you like that, especially on Master. Like it's necessary to
Yeah,
do
we
parrying and
make it
stuff.
also seem fair. So there must also always be like multiple solutions to the puzzle. So
Right.
I sort of see every instance during combat as a small puzzle that you're solving. You're looking at where the enemies are, what moves are available to you, and then you sort of make the best decision based on that. And you sort of say, okay, let's do this. And if you miscalculate, you maybe get hit out of your combo. But that to me is sort of the central puzzle in brawls that you're constantly wanting to solve, and that's sort of giving people options. That's
Right.
what I think sort of like key to make a good brawler. Give people a lot of options to be able to sort of make those decisions rapidly throughout the fight.
Right. No. And that's a good segue, because you actually said something that I wanted to touch on. You said multiple routes and multiple ways to approach the combat. Like you said, it's a puzzle. So like and back to this also segues to difficulty. So I never intended on playing this game on Master. I never did, and I'll tell you why. Because like most games, like most beat 'em ups and any games in general, a lot of times the hardest difficulty like is designed to really a lot of times be played one way, like that one min-max way, that one efficient way to approach that solution. And for me, that can take a lot of fun out of it, like that. Like I'm only like, it takes away freedom, it takes away some freedom. So because
because every other way is less optimal, and
right.
and you don't get to express yourself through combat really.
Yeah, and it's limiting, because like you have to rely on like one specific move, or in order to be successful. And that like I said, that does not that takes a lot of the fun away from me, because you're essentially at that point just doing the same thing. But in this game, it's expressive enough to where you can find multiple paths and multiple ways to overcome most of the challenges that the game gives you, and depending on a specific situation, and you can experiment. But one of the things the game does require you to do on the most harder difficulties is to parry. Like on Master, it is even on Warrior, like it's required, But the thing is, like the game, like there's enemies, like and this is another thing that I saw that you guys did with enemy design and how enemies attack, and I saw Mega Man did this too. There's a streamer. He does game grumps now, but he used to do I forget what was his name. He used to do a bunch of Newgrounds videos, like Metal Gear Awesome. I forget his name, but he did a sequelitis. He used to do that series. That's what it was called, sequelitis. So he did.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. His name is Aaron, and I forget his last name, but he does Game Grumps now. So he did a sequelitis on Mega Man. How the game teaches you how to play it while you play. So, for instance, like there's platforms that you'll jump on, and then you'll see it rolling, and you'll see another platform, then you see it moving, like dropping, coming up, coming down. Then you immediately know through design, oh, I'm going to have to, be on this platform for a limited amount of time. The game teaches you that through, its gameplay, through its design. And this game does that too. Enemies, like for instance, the samurai, the Ronin, they jump at you, give you a ton of time, to go for a parry. They give you a ton of time. So, and there's a lot of enemies in the game that, that telegraph moves like that. And that's important in game design in general, too. You need predictability. Like, you need that. Like, having things random all the time like that, that can cause nothing but frustration. That's with anything, So, but yeah.
You always want to be, if you react quick enough, you want to be able to feel like you have control of the situation.
Right.
And the harder difficulties, like, I've actually... Throwing is also a really good strategy. Parrying is obviously required, but I rarely see people use throwing, and it breaks armor.
Oh, I use it all the time, like especially with jazz. Like you literally can bounce them and move them and set them up for more juggles, and I mean you could just, and then I can throw them at Goku, like. Like I use them all the time, and then I can just hit them out of his hand. Like it's just, it does so much. So like I'm looking at the chat right now. So Mr. Black Love, I'm reading. He said, "I believe the team has done a phenomenal job on this game. Just patiently waiting for the console release." Yeah, they're working on it, and I can only imagine like how like exhausting like working, the work that you guys doing. Like big shout outs to you guys. Like you guys, like I said, just understand, guys. Like I didn't do a whole bunch of work on the game. I didn't. These guys did all the heavy lifting, all of it. And you guys were, a very small team. How many of it was you? Like I saw the credits. It was like
5, I would say 6 people at our match.
Yeah.
That's quite a small team, but for most of the time we were about 4. And then at the max we went to about 6. So yeah, quite a small team. I'm really proud of what we were able to put together.
Absolutely.
This is better than I thought the game was ever going to be.
Oh yeah,
and I'm really proud of the team.
Absolutely, man. Like it's blown me away. Like when I first discovered the game, when I had first discovered it, like my first initial reaction, like I was stunned, like because I remember like a lot of times the first thing people notice is the art. Like it's jarring at first because it's so bright, it's in your face. It's like whoa,
yes.
And then the initial trailer I had saw, it was like running at 30 frames per second. So I had made a joke. I was like, man, they spent their whole budget on this trailer, man. That's what I said. I was like, they spent the whole budget. And I will say something about how the art style of this game. I really like it. Like, I really like it. And the issue is, here's the issue. The issue is there have been a lot of games that use the similar art style, but they don't get it right, like as far as combat and gameplay. So when people see that, they initially look and put it off and say, that game looks stupid, it looks like some Flash game. People said that about Castle Crasher. I ended up being a great game, and they'll blow it off. And then I almost did that because I was like, it looked kind of crazy, like. But I was like, it looks wild. So that's what I said. I said it looks wild, and I like wild. So I was like, let me go try this out. And I had low expectations. I just did because like a lot of games, like there's been tons of games that use this type of art style that just don't get like you talk about hit stun a lot and hit stop. A lot of games don't get that right, and that's like real important. Like to how game feels, and like I don't care what your game looks like. Like I love Fighters Mega Mix, and that game looked like somebody went out and like was drinking gasoline and oil and came home and puked. That's what that game looks like. But it is fun. It is fun. So I played. So I was like, man, I love this art style, but I'm scared that I'm gonna be disappointed with how the game feels. And then I played the demo, and like I picked Hero, and then this is the first thing I did. Let me show him. Watch out go. This is the first thing I did. I walked up to the ninja and I did this. I damn near almost had an orgasm. I'm telling you. The hit stopped, like I got goosebumps. I was like, I start crying and shit. Like all that started happening, man. Like I felt I felt every emotion. I was confused. I was like, how can a game with this kind of art style look like this? Like I was like, God, thank you for putting these people on Earth. I know this is very petty, but thank you. And then because it felt good. It felt good. It felt good. It felt good. And then after that, I was just like, these guys. I was like, and then I knew and then I was like, they put special moves in the game, and I was like, great, good. I saw training mode. I was like, yeah, somebody paid attention to Fighting Rage. I was like, they're taking all the things that that they're taking the things that you should do. Like I was just overflowed with joy. Like they just and like I know I'm like creaming everywhere right now, but like people don't understand, man. Like there was just a dark age of this genre. There was a very dark age. There was not a lot of like. Really, after what? After really, I mean, good beat 'em ups. Like I said, we'll dig into that. There just wasn't a bunch of them, man. There just wasn't a bunch. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I said,
Right to I think that's when that happened. That sort of was the 3D action adventure for Devil May Cries and things like that. People were seeing like that sort of became the de facto brawler after a
right,
while. That's because it was just it was a single player versus many enemies. But
right.
that experience of being able to play with your friends together on one screen,
Yep.
that's something that definitely disappeared up until the point where people started being able to have like multiplayer games again, and then the 3D experience became had its multiplayer component.
Right.
But the 2D crouch co-op, I don't know. It's such a strange genre. I always believed it ran parallel to the fighting game genre.
Right.
Where, if you look at the interviews held with the guys that made, I think Final Fight, I think it's Streets of Rage. They mentioned looking at Street Fighter 2 heavily for inspiration. So,
Yeah, Yuzo Koshiro and his sister Ancient, because that was the company that puts. Yeah, they had a Street Fighter 2 cabinet in their office, didn't they?
Probably.
I think so.
I would have had one. But like they said, they wanted to create something like a Street Fighter experience, but sort of in a brawler setting, and that's what their sort of goal was. So I always see fighting games and brawlers running parallel to each other, and if you sort of like looking, okay, what's good? What could I be inspired to when making my brawler? You should always be. I think you should be looking at the best of what the fighting game community has to offer at that stage.
I just gave you an idea. Yeah, go ahead. But I just gave you an idea. Keep going. I just gave you an idea, though. Keep going. Keep going.
But anyway, so that's where a lot of the inspiration for Jitsu Squad came from. Is from watching. You look at the fighting games of your time and the ones that inspire you and the ones you enjoy playing. The ones that feel good to play. I remember my friend always, like when we got any fighting game, he'd always say, this game feels harder or it feels better. And I never completely understood what he meant, but it's like you can sense it when hits land nice and hard and when they feel sort of light and whiffy. And that's a really hard thing to sort of quantify, but I think you sort of nailed it with what the hit stop on moves and things like that are really important, sort of like sell the impact. And that's something we got from modern fighting games. How they did it.
No, you're absolutely right about that. But you said something. I'm gonna give you an idea, and this is you can trademark it. This is for you. This is for you. So you remember when you said fighting games? Hang on one second. Let's do a switcheroo.
So you had mentioned fighting games and beat 'em ups. They run parallel. They're birthed from, I believe, like beat 'em fighting game. They were birthed from that from one another. And they do run parallel. They share so many. They share like every similarity, really. And if you think about it, beat 'em up is just a fighting game, but you're playing it with your buddy, and it's against AI. So here's an idea. What if this? Do you think this is something that a developer can do? I think this will push the genre even further. But when you have a fighting game, have the single player be the beat 'em up portion, and then have the fighting game part be a multiplayer version. You can have like for instance, Midway or NetherRealm, they come very close to doing something like that with their venture mode, and like I remember Mortal Kombat. What was it? Mortal Kombat? Was it Armageddon? Yeah, and it was a poor game. I hated that game. But the idea was like, yeah.
Did that really well. There was a mode in Tekken 3 where you can sort of do like a side scroll.
Right.
That was really
yeah. Tekken Forces. Tekken Forces. Is that what it was called? Yeah. So so I can see because the thing is, those modes are always something that was just like a bonus or something that was just second thought. What if they put the amount of time and effort you know, into both and, you know, make it a really good brawler and fighting game. I'd love to see something like that. That'd be crazy, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. I mean, I would play Street Fighter 5 if it was a brawler, and you just give me a couple of dudes. I mean, I'm in
Yeah,
there.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would definitely do that. That'd be something that's cool. So, but yeah, the Tekken Force mode, Mr. Black Love's right. So, but Mr. Black Love had made a combat comment. He said the combat in this game is to fighting games like Ninja Gaiden Black Combat is to fighting games. Yeah, it exactly is. Yeah, it is a lot like that. It has a lot of depth, complexity, a lot to discover and dig into. So, but I got a question for you. What led you into game development? What got you into it?
I've always enjoyed games my whole life. I mean, since the
Hmm.
like the I'm trying to think now. What's the very first game I ever played? But you asked me like we went through some of the questions. You asked me what's the first brawler I ever played. I don't
Uh huh.
know if you know Bad Street.
Bad Street.
A
Bad Street
really really
was
old game. Okay,
was it
that's
Bad
super
Street?
obscure.
Bad Street Brawlers was it called that in the United States? Maybe.
It was like a PC, it like a really really old PC game. It was like when screens were still magenta. But
Oh, okay, I
anyway,
gotcha. Okay, I gotcha. No, I've never played that one. I remember a Bad Street Brawlers, but I never heard of a Bad Street.
but then after that it was the Double Dragon and things like that. But so I really always enjoyed games, and I was always fascinated by the design as well, like how they are created and how the people sort of make them. And through high school, I was always drawing. I was always like the kid, the odd one out, because doing weird stuff with my friends. And after school, I studied to become a civil engineer, and I did that for about 8 years. And I sort of just discovered that I wasn't happy. I needed to do something else.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, so I always knew that I wanted to do something in video game development, and I just started. I left my job, cashed everything in, and then just started, working on various small projects and getting my skills up. Like you mentioned, I mean, you train yourself up, and I started working on a prototype for. It was just sort of like a combat brawler that I had an idea of something, but it always sort of was rooted in the idea of having something like a Street Fighter-esque combat system. Um, and sorry, I'm just checking at the button layout.
Oh no, you're fine, dude. No,
Yeah,
I
and
was
so
yeah.
video game development was always something that I had in the back of my mind that I wanted to do, and like I said, yeah, it wasn't something that I could immediately study because we don't really have access to stuff like that in South Africa. We currently do have a lot of schools that teach video game development, but so I just went into a career path that sort of was available to me, and then yeah, through many years of soul searching, I realized it's something that game development is something that I really want to do, and I
Hmm.
was willing to risk my security to sort of like cash in on that.
Gotcha.
And been working at it ever since. I sort of discovered my niche for brawlers um, through making various games. I've made prototypes of other stuff as well.
Hmm.
And this
Hmm.
one prototype that I made, it was just like it was stick figures, and I put
Hmm.
it on the forums, and people looked at it and they said like, "Wow, this looks good," just by looking at the JPEGs. And it's like,
That's
wow.
cool.
Yeah, I was like, wow, so I've got something here, and I sort of like find it further and further, and you tend to start getting sort of like an intuitive feeling for um, what combat should feel like. It's got like sort of like a rhythm to it. Like if
Hmm.
you can imagine Akuma's uppercut,
Oh yeah.
the pacing of those three hits it's almost
Boom,
like a
boom,
signature.
boom, boy.
Yeah, exactly. And the signature routine as well.
Yep.
And
Oh
that
yeah.
rhythm sort of like becomes you can, every character can have a rhythm like that as well, and it sort of like makes them feel unique.
Oh yeah.
You have different moves, but they somehow have a rhythm or a theme that shares them. And you can use that to make, just through that you can make a character feel unique, and that's over and above any art you put onto that as well.
Right.
So that's it's one part that I really enjoy when doing design.
Gotcha. No, but Yeah, like I remember growing up, like video game like development was something I wanted to get into, and then believe it or not, not a lot of people know I did, uncredited. I did a little bit of sprite work for like hitbox work and for Lynn Baker. For Rage of the Dragons, I'm not gonna name drop the person that let me give them a little help on that, but yeah, somebody let me do that because I had gotten into Mugen and started like helping on characters in there, and that's when I started to really understand it. And then that's when I understood how hard it was. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to design games. I said I want to program them at least. It is so hard.
That's one of the things I really geek out about.
Yeah, and I can.
It's a really good place to start.
Yeah, and the thing is, I can do it. It's just like I tell people, do not ask me to do it because, like, growing up, that was my dream, and I was like, oh, I really don't like making it. I rather play it, but but I like I said, I've done some work.
When I initially started, I thought I wanted to be in animation, and I did a couple of animation courses, and I realized this is not the part I enjoy most.
Yeah.
And I sort of gravitated to the combat design because I sort of felt like I enjoyed creating them more.
Gotcha. Yeah, and that's the thing with me. Like, I like working on video games, but there's just different parts. Like, I don't enjoy the programming part, but I like coming up with like different ideas and coming up with, just I love coming up with stuff like that and improving ideas and things like that. So yeah, and that's when I discovered that yeah, I will code when I have to. Put it like that. Like for Final Fight LNS, like that game wanted you to clear it with like what 1 credit, and I was like, and the thing is now I can clear it with 1 credit. I can because I've learned how to play it. I went in training mode. We beat the brakes off that game. Like we play it on the hardest difficulty all the time, because it gives you moves. It gives you the tool set to be able to handle it. So yeah.
But yeah, like we also play like a hacked version that gives you extra MP. But the only character we can legitimately beat it with, I think, is Nestor, the cheat character.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
The person I can do it with is Captain Commando because like I can do it infinite. So it's all about getting the bosses like in one spot and then just infinite them to death. But yeah, but other than that, I have a hacked version.
That's why the characters that have side switch are so strong in that game. Like anyone who has a side switch, being able to sort of like flip the bosses around.
Yep.
That's a huge plus for the character. All the characters that don't have that, you can just combo them to the edge of the screen and then you have to run back.
Yep. I love that game though. But yeah, that's when I discovered I was like, yeah, programming part, I'll do it if I have to. Like I said, and I hacked in where you can do 1 button supers for my wife because she's not gonna do any double quarter circles, and that's what I like about this game. Yeah, so and then she plays it with me now because she likes beat 'em ups. So and then while we're on the topic of beat 'em ups, what for those who don't know what a beat 'em up is, could you describe to our audience who may not know?
Let's think about this.
Loaded question. There's no really.
I think,
go ahead.
If you sort of had to describe it with like a short phrase, I would say it's a power fantasy. It's having the situation sort of seemingly tilted against the player, but giving him the tools to sort of fight through it.
Gotcha.
It's that sort of power fantasy where you have the guys on the right hand side, the enemies, coming through you, and you have this like obstacles to clear, and it seems as though it shouldn't be possible, but your character is so powerful that you're just sort of like powering through hordes of enemies. To me, I mean, you can describe it probably in a bunch of different ways, but to me, there's sort of a core of what a beat 'em up is. It's that sort of like being stacked against the odds thing, and sort of you can see like all the anime use it as well. It's always like the one guy that's punching through the horde.
Oh yeah,
it's that same sort of thing.
Guts.
And it's a cooperative. It's typically a cooperative experience.
Right.
For me, at least, when I'm looking at like 2D brawlers, Things like I mentioned, Devil May Cry being essentially a brawler, a single player brawler. I would sort of say that, I would sort of say let's go with 2D being sort of like the limitation. Like these, what do they call them? Belt scrollers. So,
okay. All right. Well, yeah. So there it is, folks. You have it. We're going to put this in the dictionary. That is, if you want to know what a brawler is, come to Kev from Cincinnati's channel, and you will get the facts. The facts. The FAKS. The facts. From my main man, Pieter Visser. Yeah. So would you consider like the Muso games, like the Dynasty Warrior games, as beat 'em ups, brawlers?
User games, I would say like the stuff made by Open Brawl. I'd like for a brawler, I would sort of say like you needed these vertical axes. But there are Muso brawlers that are they're like regular brawlers, right? I've seen them like you.
Yeah.
So like that, that's all brawlers, and those are all games that I watch, go through all of them and check out all the cool stuff they're doing. You sort of see, one of them has a really nice an attack in their arsenal, and you sort of say, wow, that looks amazing. And I look at the modding community, like the user community, for inspiration constantly, because they make amazing work. And some of my favorite mods, I play Street Fighter 5 with the Mysterious mod, which is just like, it allows you, like Jitsu Squad, just way more freedom in terms of what you can do in combos. And that's the modding communities, that's where you go when you want to have fun, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's where you find a lot of cool ideas, because like they're just if you're modders are nothing but developers anyway. That's what you're doing. If you're modding something, you're essentially, and some people, like, some mods turn into completely different games. Like Counter-Strike, that came from Half-Life. Yeah, that happens.
Exactly.
Yeah. I will only play certain Muso games. Like the problem I have with most Muso game, earlier ones, newer ones, like, address it pretty well, but like it's just the AI was like super dumb, like super dumb, like I need all the AI to like even these Emaki ninjas can kill me, like these little fuckers right here with the bombs. Goku hates. He hates him. Yeah, they stop everything. Yeah, and they work together. That's the thing. They work in conjunction with other ninjas. So yeah, these enemies, I've been killed by every Emaki, And like in Muso games, man, only thing that can kill me is like the bigger enemies or bosses. But the later ones, there's some of the later ones, like the Zelda, the Legend of Zelda ones. The Hyrule Warriors, those are I like those. Like, and I remember like in 99 Nights, I like that Muso game. And there's a sort of Berserk game. I haven't got to try that one yet, but yeah, but the one thing like that you had touched on earlier, like when everything went to 3D, like it's hard to do co-op in 3D. Like it's hard to do it right. There's not a whole lot of games that have done it right. You know what I mean? And like that, and then there's a different style between like traditional beat 'em up and Devil May Cry. Like it's a little bit different, So it's a little tough to get that complete type of game.
Diehard was. I think the problem was also like the technical limitations, because in brawlers you just draw much more. And like the first Tekken was just 2 characters in a flat background.
Right.
So they could get away with having a 3D like experience, quite quickly. And if you have a 3D brawler, you have to start drawing backgrounds. You're drawing like 4 or 8 characters, and they just like, I think the Diehard game did an excellent job of like going into sort of like a 3D brawler vibe. And that's that's still one of the best brawlers that come out in its time. But they struggle to make the 3D transition, because just you have to draw so much more. You can get away with the same stuff that the fighting game guys were getting away with. So it's sort of like they died a quiet death there, where it's like, no, don't forget about us.
I know. That was so unfortunate because and that's another thing. Like that's what Die Hard Arcade they tried to do. What you guys did, they tried it, and it's a good game, like especially for its time. But there's problems with it, and like it doesn't always feel good to play. It doesn't. Like the hits, the sound effects aren't great. Some of the hit stun isn't. It feels off sometimes. But you can tell like they worked on, they rushed on it. They didn't have a whole lot of time. Probably a real small team too, and they probably, because that was an AM2 game, wasn't it? AM2, because they did Virtual Fighter. So yeah, it was AM2. So they already had the engine, so that probably cut a lot of the work out. But yeah, there's even just watching you guys, like even some of the stuff I saw early on. I'm not gonna talk about what I saw, but I could tell that, man, this shit took a lot of time. A lot of time. It took a lot of time. I was like, jeez, man. I was
I would say like let's say conservatively 3 years we worked on Jitsu Squad. That's from way back when we started, when I was approached by the team. It was about 1.5 years until the Kickstarter, and then we after that we sort of like I think it was like 1.5 years. And then the rest of the time was just like spent putting in content for the game. And it's like you say, so it's a lot of art. These things typically are brawlers typically are very art heavy, so you need a lot of frames and like
a lot of assets.
If you want to be expressive in combat, you need a lot of moves. So people need to draw them, and that's specifically why, like, if you're looking at publishers, the initial the cost of the art, sort of like you want you see more indie titles going with like procedural content that they can reuse,
right?
And brawlers just aren't that. But we took about 3 years to complete the project, and it shines because of it.
Yeah, that's the one thing I was wanting to touch on too. Like when I would just throw an idea at you, in my mind I was always thinking, what's the best way to add content or add without having to recreate assets? Because asset creation, man, it's time consuming, especially when like you say you're drawing 2D art. Whew, it takes a lot of time.
It's all hand animated, frame by frame, like every single frame. Like there's little things like the cloth waving in the air. You can see the Yakuza. There's little flashes on their eye lenses. So it's like really high detail of rendering that went into like the creating of the sprites.
And that's the thing. Like I know Dave. Like he was the artist for the game. Dave, right? And man, I can only imagine like how many man hours. Like for instance, like King of Fighters 13, their art almost bankrupt that company. Like,
yes,
like
that's a gorgeous game.
It is a beautiful game, man. It's my favorite KOF, man. It is my favorite KOF.
That's beautiful. It's like the most beautiful 2D fighting game ever made.
It took them. Yeah, no, it is my favorite. It is my favorite 2D fighting game, and I love Guilty Gear too. Shout outs to Guilty Gear, but man, shout outs to that KOF 13 art. Like I remember and it's all pixel art too, man. It's just, and they said it took them like 6 months to just draw one character or something like that. Like
I'll believe that easily.
There's something crazy. Look at F Norris in the background. Shout outs to Fighting Rage. Fighting Rage. See F Norris in the alley. I'm checking him out right there. Hey, I haven't been able to find Ricardo, man. I found Gal. She's in 2 different places. Get that gauntlet, dude. That gauntlet's awesome. Get that. Let me clear it out. Yeah, chicken rod. So yeah, that's what I was.
Right of the stage. That's where Ricardo is. He's standing at the stand.
Hold on, where is he? At the food stand?
All the way to the right.
Okay. I'm about to check him out. I love this chicken stick, man. That's another thing, man. Like I was listening to Tetsuo's. I was listening to his stream. Um, and he was talking about the weapons, and like the weapons in this game, they're great. They are like a lot of beat 'em ups. They have weapons in games, and like they're just very basic. They actually limit the character. And then some games try to address it. They have like different weapon combos. Like I know Streets 2X has it. Streets Remake had put that in there. Guys over at Bomber Games, shout outs to them. Rest in peace, Bomber Games. Rest in peace. But yeah, like, and then you guys like the weapons. They're weapon pickups, which I like, and which and I like how they're random too. Like like most there's only like a few spots where it's going to be guaranteed weapon, but they're random, so you're always going to be switching up the way you play it. But they're not just one hit limit the character. They expand the character. They make the character like they make the character fun. And that's what I really like about the weapons, man. I really like that.
When I was designing the weapons, I was thinking about, because they were going to spend a resource, and I was thinking, like, if you have anything that extinguishes a resource, it should be at least more powerful than your like basic specials.
Right, like an EX move.
So, yeah, basically yes. So if you're spending a resource, it should be more powerful than the things that don't. And that sort of led the design for them, how powerful they should feel, not how powerful they should be. It also affects how much of the charge they sort of like use.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that the weapons really add to the characters. Like I really like, and also like the way that they carry it with them.
Yeah, it makes each weapon like essentially like it's kind of like the isms or
Exactly. Yes.
yeah, it's like an ism. Like it changes the way the characters behave. So that's what I am more akin it to. And it gives you like you can play through the game, like completely different when you change the weapon. I really like that. I really do like that.
Do the fans, do the people in chat know that you were involved with one of the mechanics for the weapons?
Yeah. So. I was involved in one of them, and I'll tell that story. And the thing is, I was able to keep a secret too, because I kept the secret from everybody until it was in the game. Yeah, I kept the secret. So I was talking to Peter about the chicken stick, and I was like, man, I said I don't. And this is another thing. This is a bunch of segues. I got notes for this. It's segues for this. So. We was having a conversation, and I was like, hey, chicken stick, I'm not really feeling it. All it does is, it shoots this projectile out, and you have to kill the enemy on hit to, Well, first I told him I was like I didn't like it. I didn't say it sucked. I was very respectful about it. That's the thing. If you got criticism, like just be respectful about it. Be like, hey, don't be like, hey, this sucks. Just be like, hey, I'm not agreeing with this. And then Peter was like, well, tell me what you don't like about it. He didn't say, well, the weapon's awesome. You should like it. He didn't take pride, and he took his pride and kicked it out the door and was like, hey, tell me what you're seeing. And that is how you become better. Like you become better by just sitting and having a conversation. You just do, because even like Bill Nye has said this before. I won't ever forget it. He said everyone you will ever meet, I got this written down, everyone you ever meet will know something you don't. He said that. Yes, he said that. So you sit down and he's like, well, tell me about what the weapon you don't like. So I explained like, hey, I'm not really understanding. I said, maybe I'm just using it wrong. I always say that too. I was like, maybe it's something I don't know. Tell me how to use it. And then it was how I expected. And then I was like, it's not exciting to use, like this game is exciting, like shit's blowing up, flashes going everywhere. The weapon itself was hilarious. Like I like how it looks, and to me, I'm like, I'm a brother. Jazz is based off of Michael Jai White. I'm a brother. I like my chicken, so I'm a roll with a chicken stick. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with it. I know that wasn't the intention, but and I know nobody takes it that way, but for me, I love my chicken. So I was like, so it was my favorite weapon until you came up with the better idea. So this is what happened. I told him, I was like, hey man, how about having when Jazz equipped the weapon, it gives his double jump a triple jump. It changes a mechanic. And what led me to think about that when I was thinking about the weapon, I was like, how can I add to this game without using resources, having to create more, resources or assets. Because asset creation takes time and money, and like they're this far in development, what could be a simple way to, add some value, I would say, to the characters? And I was like, just, when he equips his weapon, give him a double jump. And then you were like, dude, that's a great idea. I'm working on this weapon tomorrow. I'm going to give it a try. And you put it in there and you said you tried it and it felt great. And then that gave you the idea to do it with every weapon. Which you had told me that sometimes gets you in trouble. And I know why. Trust me. I know that because that can break everything. That can set back like months of development. It can if you do it wrong. But I was trying to think of the lightest. Yeah, I was
thinking about like doing minimal changes, and that's exactly the same approach I took when I implemented them. I was sort of thinking, what are the things the characters already have, which I can just make a little bit more, a little bit less, based on the weapon they have. And that was basically all of them. It was like minimal little changes like that, but it changes the way you play with them. And yeah, it was a really great idea. And it was just like, I was just thinking about the chicken stick and the double jump. And it's like, when I tried it out, it's like every weapon has to have this now. It's self-connected, the weapon itself empowered the character. So it was not just a weapon that you were using it was like
the character.
Leveling up his ability. But yeah, no, so that's how weapon abilities got born.
Yeah, and it was like last minute too. That was a crazy thing. Like you said, like I was trying to think of the lightest way to do that without breaking anything. And I was like, just changing the property like that should be like, just a few lines of code without breaking anything else. Because like I've done that in Mugen before. You know what I mean? Like I've went in and like reprogrammed something. Like, okay, yeah. So I knew, I understood the logic. So that's where the idea came from, and then like Goku was over here when we were talking about it. He was here with me. I was like, dude, chicken stick kind of don't feel good, so I'm gonna talk to him about it. And I was like, what if it? And I told Goku, I said, well, dude, what if it made him triple jump? And I was like, you could do 3 aura drops, in a row. Like look, dude, look, that's nasty, man. And you can just keep juggling off his Tatsu, man. It opened everything up. But however, and the thing is, like. And you told me keep it a secret. I didn't even tell my wife. I told nobody. Only Goku kind of knew, like, he knew about the conversation that we were going to have because I had mentioned that, hey, I'm going to talk to him, but I never told him that we did anything. So, and I never even told him that I had the conversation yet. So, and you said you hadn't mentioned it to the team, and then you said you're going to, let them, you did a John Romero. Like they over at id Software, they'll do stuff like that. They'll put something in the game and then see if the team could figure it out, because it was just like 4 or 6 of them too. So yeah, it turned out being really cool. And then like I didn't realize you hadn't put all the abilities in yet. So I was like, I spent hours trying to figure out Jazz's Blue Destiny one. I'm like, man, I said, if I'm thinking correctly, you should just be able to like start and stop. And it wasn't working. And then after the update happened, I was like, oh, okay, just ain't put it in yet, which was fine. And then when I tried it, I that's when I sent you the message. You remember? I sent you the message on Discord. Yeah, you got the message. I said, Peter, I fucking love you, man. And then I was stuck. I was like, do I like the chicken stick or the Blue Destiny? So for people that don't know, like each weapon, when you equip it will enhance the character in some way. Like it will change the way they behave. It may enhance a move, increase armor breaking, give a character a different property. And this is, it's explained in the command list. So for instance, the chicken stick, when you equip it with Jazz, his basic attack, he shoots an egg out, and then if on death, hits enemy, turns him into a chicken. And then the chicken runs off screaming like he ain't got no sense. And then he lays an egg that drops double the resources. So what this does a couple of things. So first of all, Jazz can level up the fastest in the game just because he can produce double scrolls. However, he has a problem getting them because he's always in the damn air. So, so him and Baby have the hardest time leveling up just because how they play. But Aros and Hero, they in the thick of it, just tanking it up. So, but Jazz can level up the fastest. So, and if you hold the button, he will do a charge attack, and he will do a bunch of flips, and then he will smash the ground. This big wave will come off. It look like chicken feed. That's what I call it. But this big wave come off, and it hits multiple times.
That's if you get a lot of enemies in a straight line, if you've like done your
yeah. Yes, yeah. So you get all those hits will produce a chicken on death, and then they'll run off screaming. So, and then the other thing I didn't like about how the mechanic worked with the chicken rod was like you had to chase the chicken. So that took that took your attention away from the combat. You were trying to hit them, and you had to manage it. So you made that change. That was awesome. That was an awesome change. Like I was like, this weapon went from just being it's all right to damn. and then the blue destiny, what it does is when you equip it, it enhances your immune hazard, and that's the 100-hand slap Chun-Li move where I'll show you guys, but it enhances that to where once you start it, and once you tap it 4 times to start, you don't have to keep mashing. So, and then you can cancel it after the 4th hit during any time. So with cancelable moves, like it's not every move it's most moves, like most, or it may be all of them. I haven't tried it, but most moves you can even cancel out with a jump, roll. I think parry, you can cancel with a lot of stuff. But yeah, it does that. So it makes that weapon like it. First of all, like you don't have to mash a whole bunch. It gives your hand a break, and it lets you set up just like awesome combos. Like it just does. It is just such.
Things like that sort of happen to people. Like I wanted to surprise them with things like that. So that they might not know why it's happening, but they sort of like see it's cool.
Right.
I like it when you set up things in your game world, or your game world can be set up in a way where you sort of have these happy accidents happening.
Oh shoot!
Bob Ross reference.
I have a Bob Ross bobblehead. I love Bob Ross. You know I paint too. That's one of the things I like to do. Not a lot of people like to know that I like painting. I'm gonna show you 2 pictures I painted for my mom and my grandma. I love painting, and I love Bob Ross. Like I have all. I paint like landscapes, like he does. Like I love painting landscapes. Like I'm not good at drawing humans, but I'm good at I can draw cartoons really well. Like my daughter's good. My daughter can actually draw like anime characters. But like I got a picture right here. But I'll show you the art that my daughter made, and then her art's better than mine. It's like your kids should always be better than you. Your successors should always be better. So yeah. But I'm good at landscapes, and I'm really good at like drawing like weird like abstract like character designs. Like kind of like think Rayman. Like I love drawing characters like that, and Sonic. I love Sonic the Hedgehog. Like I fuse those 2 type of characters like that. Those 2 art styles, I fuse those together because I really like those. So yeah, but yeah, that's badass, man. So, what is your top brawlers? What's your favorite brawlers?
Top brawlers. So the one I play when I have free time is Final Fight LNS every single time.
Look at Goku over here. He over here dancing.
Yeah, me and my friend, we go straight to Akuma. We both pick Akuma.
That's my game. We play that every time we come over.
Hold on, he's trying to get in. Hold on.
It's just a wonderful combination of all.
That's supposed to be on. That should be on right now.
Like an ultimate fantasy.
Yeah, it's awesome. Hang on one second. Like I said, we're going to have technical difficulties. So let me see. I think Goku disconnected. Let's get him back in here. No, he's in there. No, he's live. You're live.
There
you go.
Can you hear him? Like, yeah, I
Can you hear him now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I love the Final Fight. We play that every time I'm over here. Like I said, we always play Jitsu Squad, and we play LNS, and then we kind of mix it up and play something different every once in a while, like the Streets of Rage 2X. We played the Die Hard arcade. We played Guardian Heroes last week. You broke out that big controller so we could play Predator versus Aliens.
And then also a really tight brawler that I really enjoy playing is Fighting Rage. It's just
yeah, we have We haven't sat down and like really cracked that open yet. Me and him played it once, but that's another one we're gonna get into. But yeah, I love Fighting Rage, so yeah, that's a good game. Yeah.
Definitely benefit from doing the tutorial trials to see how the combat system works. Very nuanced, but like very fair, and it's like I'm almost at the point where I'm one CCing the game.
Oh wow. I've done it once with Ricardo because you can do infinite with him. You can punch, is punch, do a slam, punch, and hold down and punch the slam, and then you dash forward and do it again real quick. And then if you get them in a corner, and you do it when enemies are in a corner, it's helpful because the enemies when you slam them, they'll bounce off the enemies and they'll bounce higher, and it gives you more time to dash forward and to keep continuing the combo because it's really hard to do it. Like the timing is like it's Street Fighter 4 like 1 frame link timing. Like it is, it's like real tight. But once you get them in the corner, it's like you get about 4 or 5 frames and you can just destroy. Like even I do bosses like that, even unthrowable bosses. I think. Let me see. Because there's some bosses they'll break away, but like most bosses, man, you can just and then you can just cancel with his uppercut and then yeah, it's awesome, dude. I'm telling you, it's like punch, slam. You know, your forward throw, dash, punch, slam, forward throw. You know, you just loop it over and over, and once you get enemies in the corner, I'm gonna try to put a video of me doing it. But yeah, I wasn't able to 1 CC it myself, but I had 2 other people with me, but I never died, and I got the achievement for it. But I didn't even know that I had 1 CC'd it. But yeah, like it's awesome. And then what you can do is uppercut, and then like you can cancel that. You can literally like FD, like you said, it's like Street Fighter. You can focus art dash cancel with his lariat. And then go on to other moves, man. It's just crazy. Like, I really like that game, man. I really like it.
I mean, I like also like the mobility in that game. Like, I really enjoy like the speed at which things happen, the way that, you can throw characters around and juggle them in the air, and all while doing it with only like a single attack button. I think it's really
yeah. Yeah, it's like 1 attack button. You got the special, and that's the thing. You don't need a whole and that's the thing. Like controllers got more buttons now. People expect more buttons, but you don't even have to use them all. Like hell, Virtual Fighter use 3 buttons, and you get a lot of mileage out of them.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And I also played some, like I said, the Takeover, Streets of Rage 4. I play them less often. Every now and again, I check in with the updates and stuff and see the new stuff because I'm always checking out for the cool things they're doing. Like one of the things like my favorite thing from Streets of Rage 4 is the pipe throwing. So you can like throw a pipe and then grab it in the air and throw it again.
Yeah, and I hate that. I hate it. I hate it. You know why I hate it? You know why I hate it? Because enemies can do it to you. Yeah, I have a clip. I'll send it to you. Like I threw a pipe. I was in survival mode, and it was one of those Donovans. They call him Vin Diesel. I think. Were you playing with me? Somebody was playing with me, and then like, I threw it. Thought I was gonna kill him. He caught it, threw it back, and killed me. I looked at him. I was like, "You motherfucker!" And I clipped it and put it up there because it was hilarious. But yeah, that's a cool mechanic though. All jokes aside, I was pissed off, man. I was like, for real, like that really happened. I was like, that really like, but that's cool though. That was super cool. That was super cool. But speaking of Streets, man, what happened to the mobility in that game with all the characters? That is one thing that it's a fantastic game. Like, don't get me wrong, it is a good game. It is a good game. Trust me. It is fantastic. It is like the combat. Like after the update, that's when I really dug into it because they made some balance changes and stuff like that. But it is a really tight game, and they did a lot of things right. They didn't do a whole lot wrong. But the only thing I didn't agree with that game is Blaze, and the game doesn't have. Like, I'm so torn on this. Like, they have mobility, but it's just you have to do it in different ways. But every character should at least be able to dash or run. Like, at least, man. Like Blaze should be able to run, or at least dash. But outside of that, like, and I'm okay with the big guys not being able to, dash because they're big and powerful. But, and I understand that we're going for like a Streets of Rage 2 feel. I get it. But it's just, man, it was like, I wish. just because like Adam is so good because he can dash and do different setups like that. It just opens that game up. Like if Axel can dash, it'll open that game up for him. So it just it's something very simple. Yeah.
They introduced
Yep.
they introduced dashing to all characters for the first time. Super
Yep.
Rage 2 didn't have that.
Right.
And then they added it in. Everyone has always like mentioned that as being like one of the best additions they ever put in the game, was giving everyone a dash.
Yeah.
It's weird that they took it out because it's it's fun. Everybody enjoyed doing it. So
I wonder what kind of fights they had in the office going over that, because I would have pushed back. I would have fought. I would have threatened to quit. I would have been like, you cannot do this, man. I was like, you don't understand how much, like, the game is great, but it just will make it better. And it's something that's not difficult to do. Like, it's just, I would love to understand, like, their true reasoning. Like I said, I feel they were, nostalgic for Streets 2.
Dashing would be like a mechanic that they only wanted to have certain characters to have.
Yeah.
More from the other members in the cast, because everyone had different abilities that made them
right.
Made them unique, and I think that sort of like dashing was one of those things that they used to
I can see that.
Unique.
I can definitely see that, because there are certain things that dashing could get in the way mechanically for certain characters. So that is what I'm led to believe, and it could have something to do with how throwing works too, because throwing works very differently in Streets Rage 2 and Streets Rage 4. It works very differently. Like, there's a streamer called Anthopants that talked about that. But yeah, and it could just like you said, it makes different characters feel unique. And the thing is, like I said, it is not that they don't have mobility. There's ways to get them around the screen. With Axel, I can do like wall bounce cancels with his dragon bite. Dragon bites his charge attack.
You can use the moves to get your mobility, and that's that feels
right. It does. Like with Estelle, she feels good when you do her little dash kick. Oh my god, it feels good. But Max needs to stop saying power slide every time. It's annoying. Power slide, power slide, power. He flex too. That's the crazy part. Power slide, power slide, power slide. Like he's confused about it. So, but yeah, like you said, like Blaze, she gets around well. She has no problem. But it's just like, it'd be so nice if she could just run a little bit. It'd be so nice.
The gravitates to characters like that. It's like those are my favorite characters to play as well. Like usually when I'm playing like and this is personal preference purely. When I'm playing things like Devil May Cry and things like that, I tend to upgrade the things that give me higher mobility first.
Yes.
That to me,
yep.
It's to me the most important thing is your being able to place yourself correctly in the fighting.
Because it's your offense and defense. That's what it is. It's your. I believe in fighting games, it's like mobility is like one of your greatest offenses and defenses, because it gets you in and out. Yep, gets you in and out, and quickly. Quicker you can do it, the better. So, but overall, like Streets 4, man, it's a fantastic game. Like, I love it. Like, I love that game. And that survival mode, oh my gosh. Like, I never played a survival mode in any kind of game. Did you know that? I guess I played horror mode. In any beat 'em up, I guess. I've never played any survival modes. But, man, like, that was the first one, and I was like, oh my god. Like, I was like, this is fantastic.
Like, really good stuff that they did there. And, people will start looking at that and, like, saying, okay, how can we work survival like this into our brawler?
Yeah. And that's the thing, man. Like, there's a guy, David Jaffe. Like he, let me mark this out real quick. But yeah, David Jaffe is like one of the developers that I really like, because he was the creator of Twisted Metal, God of War. And he always said that he will take ideas and just, if it's a good idea, why not use it? If legally you can use it, why not? Because, and I look at it like this, he's right, because as a species, we're supposed to be, trying to be more efficient. So why, if something works and, there's no other better way to do it at the time, why do it a different way just for the sake of being different if it's not going to be more efficient? You see what I'm saying? So he will always take ideas and just improve on them. And, he listens to his team like that. Like, his team will have a good idea. Like, hell yeah, put that in there. So, and that's that's what I find cool. Like if more games start to, put survival modes and stuff like that in, man, hell yeah, like that survival mode is fun too, boy. And you can just keep going. That's the thing. Like you can just, man, like I've only gotten up to maybe like around 20, 18, 20, something like that. So I haven't. Like what happened is, let me tell you what happened in Streets 4. Let me tell you why I stopped playing it. I started playing Jitsu Squad. No, it's really what happened, didn't it? Didn't it? I was hardcore in the Streets 4. I was hardcore. Yeah, I bought it for Goku. Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed our game more.
Yeah, I bought it for Goku just so we can play together, man. And I was playing that, and then I played the Jitsu Squad demo. I was like, oh lord. I was like, oh lord. I was like, oh lord. So, but yeah, so my favorite beat 'em ups, man. Like, obviously, I'm gonna say Jitsu Squad because I'm gonna have to be biased. Full disclosure, I'm gonna have to be biased. No, but I really like this game, but it's really close to my number one. And I'm gonna go all official. Like I'm gonna go official and fan made. So officially, probably Guardian Heroes, man. Guardian Heroes is probably my.
I can understand that.
That's
I don't even do that.
And it's probably my favorite, like overall, because it's so different. Like it's very different, and that's what I like about Jitsu Squad. It's not like any other beat 'em up I played. Like it's not. We were talking about that last week. It was like, dude, like this is. I can't compare. The only thing I can say it's a beat 'em up, like a beat 'em up, but like it does everything different, But Guardian Heroes, like this and Guardian Heroes is like my super number ones. They're my super number ones. Dude, Painkiller, like if you do Painkiller, it would, in a group of enemies, it'll snatch them up. I believe. Is that how the Painkiller works with that? You see those hands come off?
Yeah, so if you do a Painkiller, you'll see the hands come off.
And then, so what does the hands grab?
The grab enemies as he's going up, yeah.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It'll group them up. Yeah, so grab. Yeah, see, it grabs them up. Yeah, you see it? Yeah, you'll grab them all. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool as hell. Like, I've been working on setups with it. But it's hard to work on setups with him because, like, there's no other enemies in training mode. So, I'm going to learn it slower. Yeah, I'm going to naturally learn it slower. But yeah, so Guardian Heroes is, like, number one. And then like it's tied with this one because I really like Jitsu Squad and like this one's gonna get better. But like let's remove Jitsu Squad, we're gonna go favorite outside of Jitsu Squad for me. Yeah, for me. So and we gonna get to you too, Goku. So like I said, Guardian Heroes, then Die Hard Arcade. That's probably number two. Like it is not polished as it is. I love VF. I love VF. I love VF. Like it's my favorite 3D fighter. It is. I love VF. Like I'm a super SNK Sega. I always like the underdogs. I don't know why. It was never like intentional. Like, well, I'm just not because I like Capcom games, and I like Tekken. I'm terrible at it, but I like it. Like I saw it at Combo Breaker 2019. It was the best experience I had. Like I was out there with Poke chopping them. The Koreans was there. Everybody was there. And I don't say Korean offensively because everybody in the community knows. You don't fuck with the Koreans in Tekken, man. Like Knee, I can't even think of their names right now. JDCR, man, you don't fuck with them, man. And then the Pakistanis too, man. The Pakistanis are awesome, man. Like Arsenage, woo! He's a bad mofo. But yeah, so it was one of the greatest. What was that?
No, I say they're like celebrities.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely, they are. Especially in Korea, boy, they're big. They're big over there. But yeah, they were there. Tanaka, she was there from Japan. She's like the best woman Tekken player I've ever seen. She's better than most dudes. Like she's real good. She can't handle the Koreans though. Like not many people. Except the Pakistanis can, but not her. But her Cuddlecore, like all them, man. Like Poke Shot was there, and he was in the audience taking bets. They were doing 1 round Browns again. They was like, hey, if you can get 1 round, if Cuddlecore can get 1 round against the Koreans, 1 round Brown, like she couldn't even get 1 round against them because they're just good. But he was losing all kinds of money. You should have saw him. It was one of the best experiences I ever had. Like I said, I loved, but I've always just liked underdog games. Like I love King of Fighters, like Marco the Wolves is like one of my favorite. Like King of Fighters, KOF 13 and Goro are my favorite 2D fighters. Like, and I know, and I love CVS too, but they shitted on my SNK characters in that game. They don't function like they're supposed to, and that's okay. But it's a good game though, really good game, one of the best. And I love the Marvel games, unbalanced as they are. But I've always just been into Underdog. So like VF, man, I love VF. And I love Soul Calibur and stuff too. But but that's where my love for Die Hard Arcade comes from, man. That's where my love comes from. And then, like, believe it or not, I like Streets 3 better than Streets 2, like mechanically. Like, I like everything else about Streets 2.
That's why I think, like, just purely because of the mobility that they have.
Just because mechanically, like, it's Streets 2, but you just can move better. You see what I'm saying? But I wish you could, put Streets 2, 3 characters in Streets 2. Like, because I love everything else about Streets 2 better. Everything about it. So, yeah, Streets 3, like, and then I have a history with Streets, because, like, I love Streets 1, and it's the most basic one. But that's because, like, me and my brother, like, played it all the time. So, like, that's something that just, because how he passed away, that's something that really, it's like, it's sentimental, if I should say. But yeah, Streets 2. Yeah. But Streets 2, I believe Streets 2 is the better game than 3. But yeah, those are probably like my top like 3 beat 'em ups. But I play Streets. And then the thing is, you know what else I don't like about Streets 2? Like how when you attack, after you attack, you can't move. Did you know that? You're stuck for a few frames. That's why it feels stiff. Yeah, so try it. Like, play Streets 2 and Streets 3 and, like, punch and then move. Like, and the only reason I know this, like, because I could never figure out why I didn't like how Streets 2 felt compared to 3. And then I went into Streets Remake and there's a bunch of different options where you can make it feel like different games. And I watched this video of this guy explaining it. And then I was like, holy shit, that's why it feels that way. So I went in and tried it, and yeah, you punch and then hold like left or right and try to walk. You can't move for a while. Like, you're stuck for a few frames before you can move. Yeah, you have to be finished completely. You can't cancel out of that with a walk. So in Streets 3, you can just move freely. So that's why I like Streets 3 better. It's not, but aesthetically, the sound, like, I like everything better about Streets 2. But I like Fuse from Streets 3. That's my favorite song. It's definitely my favorite song. Cause and then they redid it in Streets Rage Remake. Oh, look at that combo. Oh! You saw that? Oh, man, that combo was beautiful. That was a true-ass combo. But, yeah, those are my top beat 'em up. So, I'm going to pass the mic to Goku. When you get a chance to unmute yourself, good sir, I'll take over in the combat.
Alright, so, I mean, I guess definitely Garden Heroes had to be number 1.
Garden Heroes?
Yeah.
I can fully understand that.
And then...
You guys, like, were just playing that, like, when you were kids.
Yeah, that was, like, the first thing that we liked.
Yep.
Well, no,
that was the first beat 'em up we played together.
That was the first one we played together.
Yeah.
I was going to say, the first thing we actually played together was Samurai Showdown.
Yeah, the first game we played together was Samurai Showdown, but the first beat 'em up, it was definitely... Oh, we're not getting audio bleed, are we?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably fine,
like
yeah. But yeah, the first beat 'em up we played there was Guardian Heroes, so yeah, that's super. And then that's the thing, my brother, like, he was the person that bought Guardian Heroes for me. Because I had a Saturn, my dad had got me a Saturn for my birthday. And then my brother, I went the second time around, was like, he was like, hey, I got 2 games in my hand. He was like, we can get this game, and I forget what the other game was, but he was like, this game has 46 characters or something in it. And like, I was like, the more the merrier. I'm a kid. I'm like, we got one game 6 months, maybe because our parents can afford it or something, So I was like, get that one, man. I'm thinking he's bringing a fighting game home. And then he comes back, I'm like, holy crap, this is a beat 'em up. So yeah, like, it was, and it blew my mind. And it is a fighting game. That's the thing. Like, it has a versus mode. That's the one that probably came the closest to the idea I came with. Like, hey, it's a beat 'em up and a fighting game. But it's very different. It's for people who don't know, Guardian Heroes, it's a beat 'em up, and you can't move freely like you can from plane to plane, like in Jitsu Squad or Turtles. There's a button where you hop between 3 planes, kind of like Fatal Fury. Fatal Fury introduced that.
Yeah.
But go ahead. I didn't mean to take over, Goku. Go ahead.
It's all good. And then while you were talking about all your beat 'em ups that you like, I was actually thinking, and believe it or not, I thought Double Dragon should probably be on my list somewhere, because even for just having simply two buttons, it's like that still had so many different little things that you could do. Like if you like started to grab somebody and you push the buttons a couple certain times, like he would just do like a weird combo, or you could push the direction and throw him. Like that's probably the original of all the beat 'em ups.
Yeah, you were 100% right, and like that's a good segue too. Like there was a question I skipped over. That was like first memory of a beat 'em up. Like Double Dragon was my first memory of a beat 'em up, and you were 100% right, because that's the thing. Like for that game, like that was like. That game had a lot of moves. You could headbutt. You only needed the elbow, but you know it had a ton of moves. You can grab a knee, you can throw, and you can elbow. You can headbutt. Like you can do the uppercuts, the back kick. Yeah. And to this day, it's still a game that has more moves than most beat 'em ups. Believe it or not. And I can still play that one, and it's hard. Yeah. Let's use the elbow.
You could hold him so that the other guy could beat him.
Yeah, you can hold him behind the back and just because Streets of Rage borrowed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. So yeah, you're right.
Go ahead. That was all right. That's also one of the, I would say, one of the best ones from the Golden Age.
And that's why I bring those two up first, because then like I want to say probably that final fight that we play, the LNS, dude, that's got to be my number 2.
That's one of my favorite fan. Like I said, I went official first. My favorite fan is probably, man, that's a tough one, because it's those 3 games are my top 3. Streets 2X, Streets Final Fight, LNS, and Streets Remake for me. Yep. Now Goku doesn't like, and we'll talk about this probably right after this, but Goku doesn't like. Let me put the note on it. He doesn't like those old crusty beat 'em ups that don't have a lot of moves, and this is fault of you. This is fault of Final Fight. This is fault of a lot of beat 'em ups. So let me note this.
A lot of the
Goku does. Hold on. Goku does not like old beat 'em ups.
The part that, like, since you've introduced me to this game, Jitsu Squad, and we played the Streets of Rage X2, and we've played the Final Fight, like, I can't stand the fact that the combo ends.
Yeah, I know.
Now I can keep going, and I can keep doing this as long as I got MP or something. You know what I mean? Like, and it just. I can't do the old ones no more.
And my thing is, like, I don't mind the combo ending. I just want a lot of the combo before it ends. That's my thing. Like, even for me, like, even like 10, 12 hits is good enough for me. Like that, you know, and that's why I can go back and play a lot of old beat 'em ups. But I understand like very archaic ones. Like for instance, Final Fight 1, I won't ever play again. I won't ever play Final Fight 1 again. I won't ever. Yeah, that one is like bare bones, man. 2 is even bare bones. It's a bare bones version of 1. Yeah. They're the same game, really. Yeah,
pretty much.
But 3, I'll play that. That's pretty fun. Like for a classic beat 'em up, because you can do supers and shit, and you got special moves.
Yeah. We did play.
Yeah, we played. We had fun. We beat it. We had fun with it. Yeah, you that guy. He did our combos. So, yeah. So yeah, but I feel you though. Well, we'll get back. We'll get back to that.
We're gonna get back.
No, we good. We covered it. That's all we had to say. But yeah, I can play the old beat 'em ups though. But yeah. So, but that was my first memory of beat 'em ups. Double Dragon, was that yours?
Yep.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and get this cracking lacking. So, Peter, let me ask you this: what makes a good brawler? What makes a bad, shitty brawler? Talk to me about that. Tell me, because you guys have made a great one. You made a great one. You know. I'm gonna stroke y'all ego a little bit. You know, but I love this game. I love it. But yeah, what makes a good one? What makes a bad one? Talk to us about that.
Okay, so let's reframe it maybe to say sort of like what would I look for in a brawler if I was a customer,
right?
And like we've already discussed a lot, like mobility is something that's like really important to me. The ability to never sort of like feel stuck in any type of animation or motion. And that can be tricky to do.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not something All depends on the type of brawler that you're going to make. But again, this is where I look at my sort of like at fighting games in general to sort of see what they are doing to make the game feel fluid and fast. And that's dash cancelling and stuff like that. And you play a fighting game, feel it in your hands, and you're like, okay, this feels good. It feels like I'm in control. I'm not. They're using something like that. And let me see. Let me have a look at my notes. Yeah, so it's mostly we touched on it slightly before as well. It's giving the player options. It's sort of like especially like look at the enemies that you're fighting now, the skeleton knights.
Yep.
When we were designing them, we said like, okay, we want an enemy that can guard you. To sort of teach you that you can use grab or something like that. The specific lesson was to teach them to use grab. But I didn't want to close it off and say, okay, this is the only way you can beat this enemy.
Right.
So we added so that you can dash behind them, because that feels like something someone would try.
Yeah, like you see that big wind up. You can
That's
do.
me.
Yeah,
I'm not the type to really
they're
grab.
dashing. Yeah, they're guarding. You just dash. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. There's like multiple ways to approach them. So what I do, I tick throw them. I get them in guard stun and grab. You see what I'm saying? With Jazz is really good because like he has like really good grab range, so he knocks them back, so he's in a safe distance. So if they even try to wind up, they're going to get grabbed anyway. So I love fighting those guys. I used to fucking hate them, and then I figured, I can just tick throw them. So because they're meant to disrupt the flow of combat. You know what I mean? That's what you want. So, but yeah, like I really enjoy that.
So we try to sort of like get that going where we design situations where the player will always have lots of options available. An enemy doesn't require to only be parried in order to sort of be won. So you need to give the player those options to sort of approach the problems in combat in their own way. And that's sort of like what I would say like the biggest thing for me in a brawler is in a good brawler is giving the player sufficient options to sort of overcome the odds. You can do that in a variety of different ways, and the way we sort of chose is like the combat model that we use. That's how we sort of give the player that control.
Well, Barry. Oh no, absolutely. Like, trust me. Like, it's the one thing that I really do like about the game, that like it's always giving you something to do. Like you're always engaged with the combat, and like it's just you guys got to feel right. Like when I played it, I was like, these guys get it. Like they understand. Like for me, it has to have it has to feel good. I remember reading an interview that Dave had. And I was reading, and he said that getting how the game felt was like super important, and that's the first thing I'll look for. Like you said, like when I was talking about earlier, all jokes aside, like when I first attacked the enemy, I was like, wow, like my brain lit up. I was like, they get it, they understand. Like that's what's really important to me, like good hit stun and giving the player different options to handle situations. So like you said, like the skeletons, you can approach them a couple of different ways. You can grab them, you can tick through them, you can dash behind them, wait for the wind up parry. There's all kinds of different. You can go into super and deal with. There's all kinds of ways of dealing with them, and that keeps the player. It keeps them engaged. It keeps you engaged because there's just more to do. So, but yeah.
And it's like the world after a while should start feeling intuitive to them.
Yep.
So that if things react in a certain way, they should always react in a certain way.
Exactly.
On that front, I definitely think we can improve. I think we can make a more interactive game.
Gotcha.
Have some environmental interactions and things, but we're learning. It's definitely something I would want to do going forward with anything we work on.
I mean, man, this is crazy for your first game. Like, this is a hell of a game. Like, it is. Like, it's a hell of a game, man. Like, don't worry about the bugs. I know you guys are working on them. Like, the whole time I was getting bugs, I was like, man, I experienced more bugs in Ubisoft games than this.
Yeah, and they publish that.
Yeah, they got millions of dollars
I mean, look, I love this background. Look, I wish this wasn't in the way because it's gonna go away. But like you see Arthur, you see Gilius Thunderhead, you see Axe Battler, you see the Golden Axe. Man, that's awesome, man. Like you see some other stuff in there. Shout out to the art team, man. Shout out to the art team. But yeah, man, yeah. But you guys, you totally understand it. Like I said, like. Don't like I was playing Shadow Warrior and there was just bugs. I'm like, well, it made me not like freak out because I was freaking out. I was like, I said, man, I was like, I said these guys, they got it. They're talented. They know what's going on. They got it. And then when the game came out, I was like, not bad. Like my first playthrough, I didn't have a single crash, and then like I barely get them. And I understand that you guys are working stuff out, but don't let that discourage you. We know you guys are working hard. Like I said, Bethesda, Ubisoft, man, people expect bugs in their games.
And like I said,
and here's the thing, all jokes aside, though, you have to think about it. Like understanding what you guys went through and how you got to think about the scale of their game. Those games are ginormous, so like you got to think it's going to be very difficult to find all those bugs in that kind of game. So I can kind of understand it. You know what I mean? No developer wants to put a bad product out. Nobody does. Who wants to do that? Nobody wants to do that. But we're human. We make mistakes, and all we can do is do the best we can and give 100% effort at at doing the best we can. My CEO Dave Conway. Shout out to Dave Conway. He was our old CEO I used to work for. He always said that we won't always get 100% right, but we'll always give 100% effort trying to get it right. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Shout out to Dave.
If you can't manage it today, maybe you'll have the strength to manage to tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's about continuously improving, and that's what's been so fun with Jitsu Squad. I've learned so much just during the development. I mean, during development, you get all these great ideas, and you're like, "Oh man, I wish we could implement it in a new game."
Right.
So I'm really looking forward to we're already going to be adding lots of new stuff to Jitsu Squad, the Kickstarter rewards, things like that. But we'll talk about that. But yeah, it was like I'm really glad that we sort of delivered the product that we did. And I just want to make it better. Like the fans have been great. They've been telling us every time they get a bug, and being very patient with us. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah, because that's big, and like that's the thing. What I was talking about before, like you guys like you listen to the and when I say listen to the community, like you're not going to agree with every decision the community makes because you guys are ultimately making a game, and I remember Jaffe saying that too. Like you have to understand and be focused on the game you want to make, but however you don't want to ignore your customers. Long story short, these guys are giving you guys money, so you don't want to ignore them, and you guys get feedback. You're very active in the Discord, and like you said, it's about 6 of you. So, and the game's been received really well, and you guys should be proud. Like it's a solid product. Like even Matt, like even he said it. Like he even said, I remember going back to what we had said before. He was like he thought he was getting to one of those Flash games that is not as good. And then like he said he put in his hands like, oh my god, like. And then you appreciate the art, the colors, like everything just comes together. Like it's it's crazy. It is so crazy.
Game feel, I would like to think about game feel almost like being smell. It's something you can't sell to. You can't sell it to a screen.
Oh, okay. That's what's up.
Just like if somebody tells you a game feels good, it's not something you can show them like in a stream or something, and it's like, but this feels amazing. And they're like, you're just doing combos or whatever. It's like, but. And the feel, it's something unique. Yeah. And
not a lot of games get that right, man. Not a lot of games get that right at all. They don't get it right. That's the first thing you guys nailed down. Like it felt good. Like it felt super good. Like
we were listening to the guys like from the early demo as well, and they were telling us, this feels sticky or this feels tight.
Right.
And we just like, okay. What can we do to smooth this out? And it's just listening to the community and doing like lots of incremental builds and incremental experiments and making sure you test it all the way along and just making sure you're sort of keeping true to the core.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, the community is good in the fact to where, they weren't all the stuff I saw. They never were like recommending like, hey, change the gameplay, but hey, something about this just feels off. You know what I mean? And then you guys sat down and was like, well, talk to me, tell me what you mean, and then they'll explain it, and you guys will sit down and come to a resolution, and it takes your original ideas and makes it better. Like, it's just, man, like, it's just, and like I said, that's why this game turned out so good. I think, like, you guys you worked hard on it. You guys did a lot of work on it. So outside of brawlers, like, what's your favorite genres? What else do you enjoy?
So I'm a big esports fan of StarCraft.
Oh shit! I suck at that game, and you probably can tell why.
You have no idea how much I suck in that game as well. But I'm a big Zerg player, and there's this guy called Cyril. He's currently sort of doing really well. He's like the Michael Schumacher of StarCraft these days.
Oh
He's
shit!
Just been taking names and awards and titles all over the show. And he seems sort of like unstoppable. And he plays with the Zerg, which is my race.
Gotcha. Right.
So it's sort of nice having this guy sort of you can cheer for, and sort of you look at the way he plays. I would imagine it's the same as any sport, like football or something. Everyone knows how to play it a little, but can really appreciate them when somebody has talent for it.
Right.
And that's what StarCraft is to me. It's sort of like watching these people play at the highest levels and just enjoying, them duking it out and cheering for your favorites. So that's sort of like my entertainment sport.
Gotcha.
And then also I like collectible card games. Strangely,
okay.
I don't know if you know Slay the Spire.
Yep. I know Slay the Spire is.
And Monster Train. So yeah, I really, the thing I like about them is the way that they create synergies within the card game, because that sort of seems to be the design philosophy around these things. It's like having different cards that have synergies with each other, and I just find that really interesting from a design perspective, how you can make certain things interact with each other and have these synergies, which is why I love the chicken stick thing so much, where you said add an extra jump. It's sort of like a weapon synergy with a character.
Right.
So I play those games because I enjoy them, and they're like nice puzzle solving. But also, like, in terms of design, I sort of see like what is it that other genres are doing that you can sort of like, how can I steal something here for brawlers? So those are sort of like the main two that I really enjoy, and then obviously playing fighting games. Fighting games is
absolutely. All right, so I'm gonna pass it to Goku. So for you, good sir, outside of same question, outside of beat 'em ups, what's some of your favorite genres?
Right now, I am totally addicted to Rocket League. Like, super into it. Like how he was saying his esports thing. Like, I've even been watching.
Yeah, get into it, man. Get into it. Come on, talk about what you do.
Oh, I mean, I'm decent, I guess. I don't know.
Talk about it.
I started on Switch, and I was telling people on my Discord, like, yeah, I'm a gold on Switch, and they're like, what? Are you serious? And I didn't realize it until I got an Xbox Series X, and I went straight from like gold 2 to platinum 3, like instantly.
Tell them why that was, though. Tell them why it was.
Because there's a button lag on Nintendo
There's input lag, yeah. So on the Switch,
I didn't realize that. I was just like making up for it.
Yeah, he was compensating for it.
I had already put dead zones in on my controller and stuff too, just to kind of like, because it felt just weird at first. So I did that already.
Right. So yeah, so he ended up. Yeah, it's a more responsive game because like he's the input there's way less input latency. There's like a few frames of input latency just built into the Switch. That's for every game.
But other than that, I don't know. I'm like how he said he likes the oddball games. Like I love the hell out of Halo Wars, and like there was another game called Supreme Commander that was kind of like that. I don't know. And then like there's the what was that game I was playing? Astroneer.
Oh yeah. That game's cool.
That game's
I like
cool.
watching him
Where
play.
you're like the little space astronaut guy, but you're like a pioneer. You got to go dig up minerals. I played Minecraft, and I like Terraria. I beat that. So, but I've always been able to play like, fighter games, and everything still like in the background. Like that was just kind of like already there. Like I'm good at actually Dragon Ball Fighters. I got a combo with the DBZ Brawly that I'll take your whole life bar.
Them TODs, man. Hate TODs, man. I do them too, but I hate them. Cause like the reason why I don't like Touch of Death, cause like it stops player engagement. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like for a beat 'em up, it's fine because you know you're engaged the whole time. But like for a competitive game, like one player, you're like that's what they say in Marvel. Marvel 3 is a one player game.
Yep.
Yeah, because you're just watching.
Somebody's winning, the other one's losing.
Oh, God bless Marvel. And I love Marvel too, man. It's Marvel, baby. It's Marvel, baby.
So because of stuff like that, that's why I've always liked to play like the oddball games, like I said, like Halo Wars and the Astroneer thing, because that was just something different.
I really enjoyed the Katamari series, but the one I played was Katamari. We love Katamari on the PlayStation 2. That's
That game
also
was
just
awesome.
like an absolutely exceptional game. And I've never seen a copy of it. Like, just like nobody, it's just the Katamari people that make Katamari games.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friend Raph used
That
to.
game was great too. I like that one.
My friend Raph, my first time seeing that was I was introduced to him when he had. I walked in his house and I'm hearing this weird ass music, and I was like, "That sounds awesome," you know, because it's bizarre. Like, and that's the thing. Like, I don't like listen to like just traditional music. That's the thing. I don't listen.
Oh yeah, they have a really nice offbeat quickie music.
Yeah, so
soundtrack.
I heard this like really like bizarre music, and I walked in, I seen him just rolling up this trash, and I'm like, I was like, man, what is you doing? And I was like, what game is this? And he was like, it's called Katamari Damacy, man. He said, check it out. And I just watched him roll up the world. I just watched him roll up the world, and it was awesome. But, I haven't played it though, but those games are cool. So. But
if you checked out if you're a real Katamari Damacy fan, if you look at a skyscraper and you look at the landscape, you saw all the small little buildings, and you just see how fun it would be. You just think how fun it would be if the ball just rolled over all of that and you collected, because you can do that in the game. So you start looking at the world, there's things like you can get how cool it would be if I rolled that up in my Katamari. And that was sort of like strange where the game exited sort of like the game world and came into the real world, sort of like made you think differently about your world in terms of scale and stuff.
That would be interesting.
So for me, is that it for you, Goku? Do you got anything else?
No.
Is that about it? All right.
that's
So
about
for
it.
me, man, genres outside of beat 'em ups, obviously fighting games. You know, I love fighting games, but I don't play them no more. I don't play them like the newer ones, like really, because they're expensive, man. And we talked about that. Like fighting games are like it's expensive because like you get into like just season after season, and not every game does it. You know. Does that correctly. You end up just like, and if you like to play competitively, you have to buy in because you have to know the matchup. Yeah. You have to be able to practice, you know, go in training mode, do setups and things like that.
Even if you don't like the new character, you need to at least get them so you know what they can do.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you have to be able to practice setups against them, and like you have to buy in. So like you're just stuck. But I mean, I love them though, man. Like I'll play, and I'll even play modern ones. I won't buy them, but I'll play them and learn how to play them. But what happened is Street Fighter 5 burned me, man. It burned me. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, why am I paying? I was like, why am I paying this much? And that's the thing. You shouldn't be thinking about money when you enjoying a game. That should be the last thing you're thinking about. Like, because if the game is like good enough, you won't think about it. And that was the thing. Like, they wasn't offering enough for me. So, but still, at the end of the day, man, I love fighting games. Like, I love fighting games. Like, it's my favorite. It's probably my favorite genre. Like, even though I don't play it that much anymore. I love shooters. Let's see, shooters. That's really like I love action. Like, obviously, like, you know, games like Devil May Cry. You know, 3D brawlers. I love those. I like puzzle games, believe it or not. Like Puzzle Quest. That's my favorite puzzle game of all time.
Yep.
Of all time. Like, have you ever played that before?
full quest I may have.
Oh, dude, it is awesome. It is awesome. It's Bejeweled, but it's a role playing game.
Yeah.
Like, it's so awesome. You can equip your character with like different armor and equipment, and items and weapons, and they do. And what happens is all the combat is Bejeweled. It's a role playing game. Combat is Bejeweled, and like when you match the colors, like you get that color mana, and like your mana is used to cast spells, and like different spells require different colors of mana. There's 4 different colors of mana, and then there's experience on the board and gold, and that's to be able to buy items and level up, and you learn moves, and then like you can capture like towns and cities, and they pay you rent, and you get gold that way. You can build you can fortify it and build it up, and like have like research facilities and stuff in there, so you can research spells. When you capture a mount, you can train it so you can ride it and learn different spells. It's an RPG, dude. It's crazy, and the combat's all Bejeweled. Like, it's crazy. So like when you match 3 skulls, you do damage. Then there's spells that do damage, that do direct damage. There's ways to manipulate the board with different spells. Like you can reset the board, like, because if you run out of turn, like, it's a turn-based game too, so it's you and the other person, be it AI or a player. And then if you run out of turns, like, you do a mana drain. So what happens is both players lose all mana and the board resets. But there's different characters you learn or use skills that you can reset the board before that happens. Like, essentially you use a spell to do a mana drain without losing your mana. And then you can poison your enemies. So when every turn they lose mana, or it's a role playing game, man. It's crazy. Like, shout out to that game. Yeah, it's all. Dude, play it. It is awesome. I'd love to know your feedback on that, dude. Like, they released it on the Switch too. Like, there's an updated version where they got more classes. Like, that's the version to get, the Switch one. But like, if you ain't got a Switch, any other, like, just the first one. The rest of the Puzzle Quest games are crap. 2 is okay. 2 is more like a Diablo dungeon crawler, like, as far as where you move around the map.
Yeah.
But like, the first one is the game, man. But so that's like I said, that's definitely my favorite like puzzle game. And I like turn-based, and I like role-playing games. My favorite role-playing games, believe it or not, are turn-based RPGs, believe it or not. Like, my favorite turn-based RPG is the Grandia series.
Yeah, I kind of forgot to touch base on KOTOR.
Oh yeah, you like KOTOR?
Knights of the Old, man.
Yeah, KOTOR.
That was one of my favorites too.
So yeah, I love that. The Golden Sun series, Golden Sun. I absolutely love Golden Sun series. It is so good. It is so good. Love that. I mean, I play like most games. Like, I play most games. I don't play music rhythm because I suck at dancing. So, and it's a stereotype that all black people can dance. That's a goddamn lie.
Not all.
Because I got like 8 left feet. I'm telling you, when I get on the dance floor and they ask me to dance, dude, I feel like I'm about to puke. Like, I'm telling you, I'm like cannot.
Nervous.
I'm like, no, I'll stay in this corner. Leave me alone. Like, I'm telling you, it's for me to dance with my wife, man. I had to be so, like, I was so wasted because I was scared. Like, everybody looking at me, and like, it was just nerves, man. Yeah. Like, I didn't care about getting married. Was awesome. Like, that was the best party I've ever had in my life. It was a hell of a party. But like, and let me tell you how I woke up. Let me tell you how I woke up. So, like, it was, I don't remember much that happened, but I know it was awesome because I woke up butt naked in the bed and money was everywhere. I was like, man, that was a fucking hell of a night. I don't know what happened, but it had to be awesome. But yeah, I was just nervous though, and like, I danced with my mom. And that was a good dance, and I danced with my wife. Me and her had practice. She showed me how to do the twirls and the dips and all that. I didn't want to dip her too low because she had them big old heels on. My wife, she loves some big old heels. Shout outs to my wife. Love my wife. She sleep a lot, but I love her. But yeah, so but yeah, I like most.
Yeah, I enjoyed rhythm games as well. But the ones we played, we really enjoyed was the Guitar Hero series.
Oh no!
Right when it started. Yeah, and it's just like, I don't know, there was something about it, like getting a couple of friends, 2 guitars, and just like jamming out a song. Mm-hmm. At one point, my job took me away. Like, a lot of my friends were staying like in Cape Town, and I had to move for work. And then it was like a opportunity that I had. We were coming to Cape Town for just like a conference or something. and I brought my guitar, like my Guitar Hero guitar, all the way, so that I can I visited my friend one evening, and that one evening we jammed, and the next day I left to go back. So those rhythm games have a lot of fond memories for me. We went out of our way to sort of jam together. It was that I really enjoyed it, and I didn't play the hard difficulties. It wasn't about that. It was just that feeling of nailing a riff or something. Those are really fun games.
My wife.
I was going to say a little bit of backstory. My mom, she was one of those chicks that lost her mind every time Ringo Starr would flip his hair a certain way while he drummed. So I grew up on the Beatles. And when they came out with that Beatles rock band, dude, oh my God, I was in love. I would cart that thing around with me to friends' houses. You got an Xbox, right? All right, bet, I'm bringing my rock band.
Those rock out, yeah, those were absolutely amazing. It's like a genre sort of of peripherals that is you don't see them anymore. But those were really, really fun.
My wife, that's what she loves, and if you love music too, my wife, she loves her boy bands too. She was like, I wish they would do a Backstreet Boys once. I was laughing, but yeah, God bless my wife, but yeah, she doesn't play them on the hardest difficulty either, but she just just her and my daughter, she likes to get my daughter into it. And she loves music, so I can understand, especially if you really into music, and that's the thing. I'm not really into music. I'll listen to a bunch of video game music because that's what I enjoy, but that's it. Typically, and I like orchestral music. Like I said, I'm oddball when it comes to a lot of stuff, but I'm not the usual or what you would expect, I guess. But my wife, she loves pop music, that's her thing. So she's definitely, gonna. Be into that. But yeah, that she loves Rock Band. But for me, man, rhythm games, man, that is for the birds, because I am super duper terrible at rhythm in general. I mean, I can play those though, because but my thing is for me, fighting games is a rhythm. That's the thing for me. Fighting games is a rhythm game for me, because once you get into combos and stuff like that, and that is what it is for me personally. And I enjoy. That's why I really do enjoy, fighting games, is because I feel like that. I'm playing a rhythm game, especially when I'm working on infinite combo. Jazz, for instance, when I do his Fury transformation at 1 2 3 1 2 3, that's a rhythm. You know what I mean? That's a rhythm. Yeah, and it feels great when you do it. It's I'll do it again. It's blah 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 blah. I'm stalling right now because I'm sending out notifications and stuff, so don't worry. I'm just stalling, but it's a good stall. It's a good stall. And I was checking off my notes too. So all right, let's get this rocking. I like this music too. I got the music real low though. If you want to listen to the music, Sebastian's gonna put the soundtrack out there. It's on Spotify. You can buy the game. You can watch my other streams. It has music in there, but I wanted us to focus on the conversation. All right, let's get rocking and rolling. But yeah, that combo I do with him is very very rhythm. I pick up this. See, I like the assist, but I'm greedy. Shit, I'm greedy. I want to kill everything myself, and that's how I am when I play other genres. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, we both do that. If you haven't noticed, we really haven't been using the assist.
Yeah, we try to avoid them because now,
Benny.
Is there a way y'all can make it to where we use the assist and the game gets harder? I'll pick them all up then. Make it a reverse something. I'll pick all the assist up every time. I'm assist is still in my kills. It's cool working some of them in the combos too. I've been trying to work on that, but it's hard to do because you can't do it in training. But yeah,
you might if you wanted to, say for instance, have them turned off, you could probably have an option in there that just turns them off.
No, don't turn them off though, because sometimes you will use them. You see what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And sometimes I like showing them off. It's just I and picking them up on accident don't bother me. It's just I can easily run around them. Yeah, definitely don't turn them off. Keep them on because they're cool. They're all cool. Yeah,
they're all cool. Just we got to the point, like he was saying earlier, we're gonna have to start playing on masters.
Yeah, we have to. Yeah, we just we're and it's not that the game is easy. That's the thing. When I first played it, I was y'all saw my first playthrough. I was getting my ass destroyed. It's just the game. Like if you play fighting games, you're going to learn. You know what I mean? You're going to learn. You're going to want to do that. And then like my wife don't play fighting games at all. You know what she was doing yesterday? She was in training mode. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So, and I know that's what you guys want. You want to encourage that. You know what I mean? You guys want to encourage that. So yeah.
You want to feel as though it's like easy enough to approach. You don't want to make it feel unapproachable.
Yep.
And yeah, that's something we always try to do. Like with all our designs, we want more people to enjoy the game.
Yep. I have and that's the thing. See, like for beat 'em ups, that's something I don't mind. But for a fighting game, I'm like, for me, I understand you want those to be approachable too, because fighting games are niche and you want everybody to be involved. You know what I mean? Many people possible. You do. Just for them to survive and be profitable. You know, I understand that, you know, like if you guys can make these games and be paid for the rest of your life, I know you would, you know, but like that's not the reality of it. Like you have to, like I remember you saying that having the technical know how to make a game, that's not hard. It's just like surviving, you know, being able to eat. So I understand that, man. I totally understand that. I totally get it. So, but yeah, you want everybody involved. So, but for fighting games, for me, like execution is something I really enjoy. Ooh, there's an extra life. Yeah, I love like the harder the execution to me, like the more excited I get. And like and it's not even always just about execution. It's about what tools do I have access to. That's the thing. Like say if it was like a very simple game like that had hard execution, I'm not gonna care. I'm like, yeah, that's not fun. But it has to have complexity to it, and usually games with a lot of execution, like this game for instance, like I like Jazz because like I believe he's the highest execution character in your game. He just is. Yeah. To get him moving, like because there was a comment, I made a video, it's YouTube channel with Toby. He saw the training I did with Jazz, and he was like, I thought this was the weakest character in the game. You know, and he was like, you know, he said, maybe I'm mistaken. He said, this is, you know, because he saw what I was able to do with him. So, and it's all about just, you know, learning what he does, but like he's not difficult to use, but like you can get so much more out of him he has a high skill ceiling, you know, and that's not a bad thing for him. And that's why I gravitate towards him, because I have to think I don't have to think the hardest, but like he gives me the most to do. So Baby is another one that gives me personally. But go ahead.
Spoke about it recently in his stream where he spoke about he doesn't mind. I think DNF Duel does it really well, where you can have easy inputs, but then also give a reward to players who do
it the traditional way. Yeah. Definitely.
It's sort of like he's happy with something. It's if you can strike a compromise with like that, then it's like the best solution.
Because the game that did it bad was Rising Thunder. I hated that game. Because you can just jump back with Shell and keep just spamming that projectile.
Yeah.
Just jump back, shoot, jump, shoot, jump, shoot, jump, shoot, jump, shoot, jump, instant air. I'm like, man, it should take some type of thought to do that. You just turn your like when the player's not engaged, that's what becomes the problem. So the thing with DNF Duel, the good thing about that is like it rewards the player for doing it the correct way, and that can encourage people who do it the easy way to do it the correct way. So it splits the difference. Like you get an advantage for doing it the right way, as you should. Because like I take it akin to fighting, like a real fighting, like. Just because I can outthink my opponent, I still need to be able to execute it. You see what I'm saying? So it's all mind and body. It's mind and body. But that's just my opinion. There's really no right or wrong way to it. You know, it's just another way of looking at it. So, but I enjoy that super duper trooper high execution. I enjoy it. All right, so let me ask you this. Tell the chat, tell the people out there, what are some of the things that you guys have done in Jitsu Squad that's not been done in beat 'em ups? Because it does a lot. It does a lot that you haven't seen, you know.
So that's actually, I was thinking about that, and I was like, apart from the combat being like the sort of like Marvel versus Capcom inspired combat system, there's no one single thing we do that other brawlers haven't done before. I think what we maybe managed is, to borrow inspiration from enough brawlers to sort of like and put it together in our own way. So it's just put together sort of like in its own unique package, and we're just happy that people are enjoying it because you take a big risk when you try out something new like this. You sort of break the mold with combat, for instance, and you try something completely different to what people are used to.
Right.
And so, sorry, just set me up again. I've lost my train of thought.
No. You were talking about what you say you borrowed things from. You said it wasn't one thing that you did that differentiates it. You just took a combination of things, and you were talking about that.
So if you look, for instance, like throwing is something that was new to me. It's something that Shattered Realms actually never had, except if you played with a grappler character. And I just realized how important it is for combat. That's something I borrowed from a lot of other games, like especially Final Fight L and S, because throwing your opponents in the screen is a very effective way for crowd control. And I absolutely love that, the way that you control the crowd by throwing enemies, so their corpses basically become functional tools for you, or their bodies that you can like throw them around with. And it's just taking sort of what you see in other brawlers, and you're sort of like inspired by them, and just combining them in your own special way. So yeah, like I said, I don't think we do anything exceptionally different. It's just we've put it together in our own way, and we were lucky to have such a talented team to be able to pull it off, and to pull it off like this. I think it's the sort of the dedication of the team that made the execution of it, sort of shine the most.
I'm gonna show you a trick.
And that's the thing, man. Like, and I was talking, we and Goku was talking. Like, the game doesn't feel like like I can't. Even though like you say you took inspiration from other games and stuff like that. Like it feels like it doesn't feel like any of those other games.
I'm always trying to see where I can turn the dials up to 11. So if I see a specific mechanic or something for another brawler, I'm like, okay, so if this move was more powerful, how cool would it be? Or if this mechanic was more broken, how would it be? You look for inspiration, but almost like trying to put your own spin on it as well. So that's why you always see references like in the game as well to other games. Like we try to pay homage where we can, sort of to the to those games and the things we sort of learned from them.
As you saw, I blew it. That's why I restarted that. Did you see it? Did you see it? Watch. Let her spit acid on the floor. Just kill all the other enemies. Okay, good, right there. All right, good. Watch this. Hold on. All right. The thing about Jazz is super. You have to direct it. So you have to. Oh, she's done. Why? She's done. I'm gonna kill her with one hit. Why? All right, she should be good. She should be toast. Watch. Yeah, she should be toast. No, don't run. Don't run. Why can't I do that? Why can't I finish her with that? Aros would be good for that. Hold on. Here, trade me real quick. Here, trade me. Watch, he would be good for it. Hold on. Watch. He would be good for it. Hold on. Push B. Just push B. Watch this. Hold on. Let her spit acid. All right, here we go. All right. Yeah, she's done. She's dead. Hold on. Let me get. She knows what's about to happen.
Program stretch.
There we go. Just keep doing it. Here we go. Watch this Goku. She's finished, man. Watch. Oh shoot, they messed me up. Hold on. Maybe not. Hold on. I can still do it. Hold on. All right. All right. Come on. You only need 50. She's dead. Here. I love that you can do that. Oh yeah, what's up, chat? I see my brother Tony Anthony Smith in the house. What's up, little bro? I see you in the chat. Was that ridiculous or what?
I love that. You're really figuring it out.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, man. I was like, you just jump on the acid and just keep parrying it. That makes her way easier. Well, Jazz, she's like, you got to chase her down because she moves. That's the thing. But I'll figure it out with him. And that's what makes all the characters unique too. Like, Hero and Aros has a screen filling one, and other two have very unique ones. I do like that. And that's another thing. I like how Jazz plays because like he's powerful. A lot of people don't understand. Like he's really powerful. But what balances him out, like he's high risk because he's in the air, and you can't. And your strongest tool in this game, one of them is parry. So when you're in the air, you can't do it. So you have to think about how you approach combat with him when you're encountering any type of enemy. So I have to look like, okay, I have to make sure it's safe for me to go up in the air. You see what I'm saying? Before I try that. So.
Exactly.
Oh, see, like right there.
You're gonna you want to kill them, like they then come back down again.
Yep. And then sometimes you can like in this stage, I'll have enemies, like I'll be comboing somebody, then I'll go up into the air, and then I'll come back down, and then go right back up into the air. Like I've done that in I think it was actually my first one, when I first played this stage, because I saw that coming, I said, okay, this is probably a series at some point. But yeah, it's cool. Oh, see right here, look. See, look. You just keep it going, see, look. I love it, boy. I'm telling you, man, people sleep. When I first played with him, like when I first saw Jazz, I was like, man, he looks odd as hell. Like that's the first thing I said. He looks weird. And then I was like, man, I was like, I can't wait to try him out. I said, because I was like, I thought the big guy was gonna be my favorite character, because like, my brother, he likes big grappler type guys, and I was feeling, I was sentimental about my brother at the time, and kind of to just remember him, I was just really into like big guy characters. So when I was playing Streets, I was playing with like Max and stuff. So I was like, man, Aros is probably gonna be my favorite. So I played with Aros, and I was like, man, this dude's awesome. I was like, he's my favorite. And then I played with Jazz. And then but when I played with him, like I wasn't really great with him at first. Like it was hard to get him like to understand him. And then once I figured out he can jump cancel, once I figured out he can do that, and he can instant air his solar kick, and you can by plinking it, I was like, this just opened him up.
Yeah, his chains as well is like one of the places where like you really get a lot of utility from him.
Oh yeah. All right, here's my 1, 2, 3. Oh shit! Come on, come back up. Where you at? I guess I'll do it the dash. Come here. Yeah, he does. He's got a lot of utility. That's why I really like him. There we go. See, that's a rhythm. And if I do it wrong, I'll drop it. And then the combo's decaying, so I gotta do it gets tighter and tighter. It gets tighter and tighter. Look at that, boy. Woohoo! Woohoo! Go, go! Go, go! Let's go, go, go! Let's go, go, go! So yeah, man, I'm just like I'm super excited about this, man. I'm super. So, what's your favorite characters in Jitsu Squad? In what order? What's your favorite?
So the funnest character for me to implement was Aros. I just like had a ball like that. I immediately knew what type of character he needed to be.
Wow.
Yeah, no, like I don't know why. It's like I just really enjoyed creating him as a character.
Okay.
Baby for me was the most challenging, just because she's a pure projectile-based character. So that really challenged me in terms of just design. Like how do you make a character that can only throw projectiles? I think she has 3 moves. that hit physically, and the rest all. So that was like a real challenge. And I'm actually really proud of what we sort of like got to. Jazz was obviously the most technical.
Oh yeah.
Given being like a kung fu character, like the idea of like making his viability sit sort of like in weird places because it sort of fits him as a character. But my all-time favorite has to be Hero. I don't know. I like the character archetype. I'm like a Shotokan. And
don't tell low tier God that he will not like it. No, he has shirts that says no shotos.
I'm sorry, I can't wear that t-shirt. It's just like the way I play Hero is I stay on the ground. I hardly ever go into the air. So I, you do like a chain on the ground, parry, do another chain, parry, do another chain. And just sort of like I like the idea of not having to ever jump with him because with parry you basically have the tool in order to do that.
Right.
And it just feels really, really badass for me to sort of just like stand there and everyone's just attacking and you're just like deflecting them all. So yeah, Hero is sort of like my favorite
like Kenshin,
character.
man. He's like Kenshin. He stand hard, man, and just clear everything out. Yeah, so and that's the one thing I do notice with him. Like you don't have to really. I like being in the air, so obviously that's why I like Jazz. But yeah, with Hero, like you said, you don't really have to jump with him at all. You don't. Like he has all the tools he needs right on the ground. And this is my favorite assist, believe it or not. I will pick this one up like almost every time. And you know why I like it? Because I like the dude's voice. Let's go for a spin. I said that's cool. I like stuff for dumb reasons. But yeah,
This is a very useful assist as well. It's one of the most useful ones. The fact that they disrupt all the enemies, so they don't really get a chance to attack you. You're just like laying into them, and they're just helping setting up combos for you. So yeah, it's one of the most fun assists for me. It's like that one and ukulele.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I like sometimes like when you clear out all the enemies and that assist is there, you can just grab it and it'll follow you. I really like that too. So you don't waste it. It'll follow you. Yeah. So Goku, who are your favorite characters in what order?
Favorites in what order
and why? I gave you a little test. I know you know it's gonna be a test today, did you?
No, I didn't. I didn't even either.
That should be easy. Just talk about how you feel, man.
I was going to actually, and believe it or not, this is the first time I've played with Aros, and I'm feeling him, bro. I am.
When I tell you, he's awesome, ain't he? Hold on. What you need to do with him though is jump. Like any time he lands, you can charge his like weapon move. So when you jump and push down X, just be holding Y. Like jump down X, hold Y. And to let go. Like you can loop those. And then like when you bounce like that, you can push down X again and keep doing it. Yeah. When I figured that out, and let me tell you why I figured this out, and then I'll let you go, Goku. So because I'll probably forget, I'll lose my train of thought. So I did that Discord trailer video. I did that, and then I noticed that every time I did the meteor, meteor strike, he would be airborne. I was like, man, I said I probably can just do Helm Splitter out of that. And then I put the game in and did it, and then I just paused. I got goosebumps. I was like, oh my gosh. And then that's when you saw me put up that other video.
Oh, that's just really sick, Luke.
I was like, wait a minute. And I was like, I can get all, because like we were playing. That's when me and Goku was like, man, like last week when we played it, I was like, man, this game is, when we just blasted through it, because I kept doing Helm Splitter, I was like, man, that might be kind of too OP. And then
it's clever hiding the input in the Helm Splitter, basically.
What was that?
You're basically hiding the input for the weapon in Helm Splitter.
Exactly. Yeah, so when I noticed that, I was like, and then like you can get it off of the three hits too off the shockwave. It goes 1, 2, 3. And you get that really chunky hit stun, like, and then you can just let go. And then like I'm working on one where you can keep going, like you can do the 0 loops backwards. Like I got some stuff planned for him, but go ahead, Goku.
What?
Check it out, man.
Off rip though, baby was probably my favorite person to play as. Like, I like being able to be staying back with the projectiles. Like I said before, like, I like all the little oddball games anyways. So, like, just being a ranged person was right where I like to be. Then I'd probably say Hero would be number 3. Because, like you said, you don't have to jump much. He can just sit there and, like, parry. Like, boop, boop, boop. And then you just finally start opening up on somebody, and it's like everybody dies.
Yeah.
And then Jazz, I've played with him a little bit, but he's technical. He's very technical. I can get the stuff going, but I'm nowhere near like Kev. So I don't know. I just always leave Jazz for him.
That's years of you've seen me play years of like fighting games, dude.
And you were always like doing air combos. I'm like, this guy, we're playing Streets of Rage 2, the original, like, and he's still doing air combos on fucking Shiba. And I'm like, dude, what the hell?
I like my combos.
I like to do the characters already running the game. So if you play sort of with a base set like with Hero, you get your more simple characters that are, you know, they have a much more basic move set and, you know, function as they look. And then if you feel sort of like, oh, you want more of a challenge or you want a deeper character, then there are characters for that as well.
Right.
So that, you know, so if you feel like you want to try a more technical character, then there's one for each of them. But I mean, like I said, I like Hero, but like I said, Aros as well. Like he's also one of the funnest characters. That painkiller of him, interestingly, the painkiller, when it lands on the ground, it's got a hitbox that hits all the enemies around you, and then he does damage to the enemies he's holding. That hitbox does more damage than the throw itself.
Yeah, yep. That's why I do it on bosses. Yep.
You want to be landing on enemies.
Yeah, exactly. I figured that out like right away. Like I had grabbed the because like when they took the throw out of the bosses, I was like heartbroken. I was like, but I understood it though. Like I totally understood it. Totally understood. I was like, it'd be.
You were like throwing the boss, like the enemy in between you guys. That's exactly what we wanted to try and prevent.
Right, and then like at that stage in development, it's like super hard to like balance something like that. Like you can introduce more problems. You know what I mean? Because there's a whole bunch of different ways to solve that problem. But like the most, the easiest, efficient way at this point of development is probably to do that. And so I understood it, but I was like, man, because I love like working his throws into combos on bosses too. But what that did, it just caused me to be more creative in how I approach bosses, which I have zero problem doing. So, and that's the thing, and a lot of
enough tools for you to be able to solve the problem without the throw.
Yeah, you had tons of tools. That's why I wasn't like bummed out. I was like, man, you can do so much, so it's not a huge deal. But I noticed that you can grab dash at the end of the game because like he can't die. You know what I mean? So, and then you're trying to focus on origami too. So I'm not sure that's why you guys allowed that, but I just noticed that. Oh yeah, I can grab dash now.
It's a good feature.
So, but yeah, like for me, as you know, my favorite character is the man, and I like this song too. This is my favorite song in the game. This is my favorite song. It is so good. When I first heard it, I was just like, it's stupid because I got goosebumps and like this is a cold song and chilling stories.
Chilling stories.
But yeah, this is my favorite one. The Emaki Dojo is my second. And Surfing on the Lava is like it's his own thing.
It's his own thing.
Yeah, it's kind of his own thing. Like it's just kind of his own thing.
Texting each other that.
Because I like the Infernia's music. Like the first part of Infernia, I love that song. Like I love that bass solo on it too. Because you don't hear a lot of bass solos. You know what I mean? It has a really good bass solo on there, man. I like that. Those are my top favorites though. But as far as character Jazz, because I like technical characters. I like being able. I like being in the air. Like for a person who like don't really care for heights, I love being in the air. When I get up there, I'm scared. Like it's crazy, and I can jump really high too. Like in high school, like my high jump was 6'5", and my long jump was 23 feet 1/2 inch or something like that. It was a long jump. So I've always been a high jumper, but like when I'm up there, I'm like, crap, I gotta go down. So, but Jazz requires a lot. Like you can do more with him if you put more into him. That's why I like him. Like he's technical. You can do a lot. He has a lot of utility. He can do a lot of stuff. Like you say, he's in odd places in the screen. He scratched the itches that most people can't. That's why I really like him. He does so much. He's very different. So he's my number one. And I love his fury transformation. I've been trying to combo his beads. Like you got to get him up high because I noticed you can infinite jump while you're in fury mode. Was that intentional? When you go in fury with him, you can jump forever until you come out of it.
Oh, yeah, that's intentional. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because you can keep bosses in the air forever.
That was
but like eventually it runs out. So, but like if you're in trouble, what I normally do, I eject. Like I keep jumping while, like, say if my fury's getting ready to run out, and then they just started their fury transformation, the boss, I'll just jump really high, and then eventually their fury run out, then I'll land.
I'm not going to tell you that.
But it worked. It's smart. It's like I don't want to have to deal with that. Like that's a mess down there. Yeah, it's hard. That's hard work. We should be trying to. This is an easier solution. But yeah, he's my favorite, and believe it or not, Hero's my second favorite because he has an answer for everything. Like for everything. I mean everything. And like when you see me do videos with him, you see it. Like you said, he's very precise. Like I cut to the point with him. I get to the point with him. I get to the point. So yeah, he's my second favorite. Like he just has an answer for like everything. Like his super is real good. Like he's good damage. Like just doesn't have to jump at all. He's very safe. Like real safe. Like really like him. And then third is Aros, because boy, man, like he was a close second, but like Hero edges him out for me. But I like the idea of being able to do a suplex and then I like the idea of an SPD after a suplex first of all. So I like that. And then, not only that, he does a gainer before he does the SPD. When I first saw that, man, I was like, I spit everything in my mouth I had out. I was like, that is ridiculous. Like, I was like, who does a gainer? And I did it frame by frame, too. Like, I did it frame by frame. I was like, all right, y'all want to play? Come on. I did it frame by frame just to watch it over and over. Like that's something I'll do. I'll watch something over and over, and that's how I figured out my that Aros loop. Like I watch my videos a lot just to go back and see what I could have done better. And that's when you hear me complain like, man, I wish I'd have made the video like this. You've seen me do that a lot. But yeah, I'll go back and watch just to see, okay, what could I have done here? What's possible here? That's how I figure stuff out. Yeah, that's my favorite. And then Baby, she's my final favorite. And I like all of them. Like I do like all of them. And I don't think any of them are bad. I think they're all excellent characters because they all play like pretty differently. The only one that play similarly really is Aros and Hero. They're the only ones that's kind of similar, but they're still different. Like Aros is based on grabs and stuff. But hers, because like her, I have to think so differently, and that's why I do like playing with her, because she's a range character, and I don't usually play range characters, but certain situations will cause me to play a range character, like Mr. Black Love, like me and him, he's play Killer Instinct, and he plays Saber Wolf, so the counter pick is Glaciers. Yeah, that cheap bastard. Saber Wolf is a cheap bastard. When he first came out, he was like so much better. Because like he was fast and powerful, so much chip, like he was just busted. So he's pretty balanced now, but like he's so fast. And like that's what I do like fighting about him, because it makes your reaction times real fast. So I learned how to play Glaciers just to deal with him. And I love playing Glaciers now because of that. Yeah, I loved it.
I'm a Glaciers main as well. Like when I saw him first, like I already knew I was gonna play him.
Oh, did you? See, my main character is Fulgore, believe it or not, because he's a very weird, odd Shoto. You know what I mean? For a Shoto, he's like really odd. Like, 'cause he has some tools that other Shotos don't have, like lazy beams, projectiles. Like, he's got teleports. Like, what Shoto teleports? It's Akuma. Akuma, but his teleports are even better. Like, 'cause he can appear at different points of the screen, and then he can set you up for like overheads, and he can do like he can do vortex setups. Like he can do. Oh man, but yeah.
Was it Nikki? I think it's Nikki's.
Nikki is the best Fulgor on the planet, dude. Like, he is the best. He used to have that creep hat on. Like, hey, you need to watch this dude named Nikki play Fulgor Goku. Like,
I like Fulgor.
He plays Mira too. He's been playing her recently, but like his Fulgor is like, that's where I learn all my stuff. I watch him.
Yeah, he set up his Fulgor on nasty, like the projectiles, teleport things. Like,
yep. You have to guess a lot.
When it happens, you know you're gonna get hit.
Yep. And he has a really unique mechanic too, where he has that his core, his radiator, his fucking reactor core. So that's a super. When it first came out, man, it was bad because it was hard that you had to manually charge it. I think every time. There was no way to build it. Yeah, there was no way to build it.
They added the reactor later.
Yep, they added that later where if where you the auto doubles and different things like will build the meter. So, yep.
But yeah, still like now he's like a really balanced character.
Who was that?
Also,
now he's a really balanced character.
He was the Glaciers player.
Who was that?
I don't know if you. Water horses.
Water horses, yeah, I was thinking that. When you say Glaciers, I was thinking water horses, yeah. That's the first name you think of. Sleep can play water horse. I mean, can play Glaciers too. Sleep can play them too, but Sleep's fucking Conrad was like ridiculous in season 2.
Yes.
Ridiculous, and I'm not a Conrad player. I'm not at all. I've never even played with him. I was so mad when they nerfed him. You know why? Like, I loved watching him play him. Like, did you see the My God match where he played against My God at Evo, and My God got the lead? All right, so My God had the lead, a whole life bar. Sleep had 1 point of health, literally one. You couldn't see his life bar. He had a magic pixel. My guy was trying to run a timeout, and like there was no way for Sleep to chip him out. You need to watch the clip. That's all I gotta say. Go, you watched it, Goku. You said and watched it with me. Go back and watch it. Dude, Sleep versus My God Evo. Man, it is like one of the I was so mad because Conrad can't do that anymore. He can't do all that. I was so mad. I was so mad. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not even a Conrad main. I don't even play him. But I loved watching him. Like he's very technical. That's the thing. He set sand traps, and he can do the sacrifice to get away from you, and it takes life. And that's the thing. He did sacrifice to kill My God to put it in the last round. My God had a full bar after that. Sleep couldn't do that anymore. If he did it, it would kill him because it takes life. So he had to like not get hit, and he didn't. He didn't get hit, boy. He did not get hit. So how long did you guys work on Jitsu Squad even before taking it to Kickstarter? And how did that entire process happen? How did that go? Because I missed out on it.
Yeah, I was approached by the guys. That was probably 7 months before development started, and we started talking about how we would approach the game and everything, and that everything was just being set up from the investors' side. And then from when we started to the Kickstarter, that was about a year and a half. So the first year was just like getting the systems in place, getting the game, like combat, feeling how it feels, and then we started putting in like the enemies and the bosses and things like that as well. So that was the first year and a half of development, and then after that, I think it was another year and a half before we finished the game. I would say roughly, let's round up to about 3 years to produce this game.
Oh wow!
Which is, I think, like still like quite a short time frame for what we achieved. We got a lot of stuff into the game, and it's like Again, I keep saying this, but I'm really proud of the team. for the game that they created. And like I said, 3 years is not a lot of time. You can check a lot of indie developers and sort of like follow their development cycles and things. And like even if it seems as though the game they're working on is really small, 2.5 years is probably what you're going to be spending developing it.
Gotcha.
So they take a lot of time. But that being said, like I think we spent the time well.
You guys are optimizing. Min-maxer, boy. Is you right? That's not a lot of time, man. That's not a lot, especially for 6 people. Yeah, that's not a lot of time. Matt.
But I think it was a good amount of time for Jitsu Squad, and we're probably going to end up maybe working 4 years on it because we have the content from the Kickstarter that still has to go in. So I think at the end of the project, we'll probably have spent about 4 years working on it.
And like, there was a guy that on the other podcast that played it. He was like, man, this seems like a game that was put out by a big publisher. He said it's easily the quality that's put into it, like it's insane. Like it is super
that's
insane.
A big compliment. Like we've been hearing that from fans as well.
Yep. And it brings back to another thing. Like I said, you guys like really engage the community and stuff like that, and you look at all feedback, not that all the and it's been like most of the feedback's been like just positive too. Like nobody's really been really down on the game or anything like that. People are generally liking it, and like I said, you guys like really took that feedback and made tons and tons of improvements, and it shows in the product. You guys worked really hard on that, and I remember like working on my videos. And that's another thing. Like I'm big on that too. Like if somebody, I'm quick to listen to somebody when it comes to if I'm working on something and I have somebody look at it. I'm big into sitting down hearing what they have to say because everybody has some. We all think differently. We all have different strengths and weaknesses, and you never know what that person could come up with. It can end up being a really good idea. So I'll always sit down and take feedback. Like when I was making my videos, there's this guy named Brent Adams. Shout outs to him. He used to be on a podcast called Epic Battle Cry. But I had shown him one of my videos. I said, man, tell me what you're thinking, And then he was like, these are good, but this can improve it. You say, try these things. And then I did, and then man, it made a huge difference. And that's all because I sat down and just listened to him, took the feedback, and because I sent you that video with Mark Grigsby, you remember from Infinity Ward, and like that's what he was talking about, like when going over animation, and how he went through his process and how he would get feedback and stuff from people who are seeing things, and he talked about sitting down and having a conversation as well, just hear him out, Hear him out, but yeah, that was super cool, and it's cool that you guys are going to be able to update the game and add stuff to it. Like I'm really excited about that. I'm super can't wait. I saw that ending with Shin Dash. I saw Shin Dash at the end. I was like, that's badass, man. I love that, and
I keep bugging you too. Like, when are they gonna do? When is Dash added on? Is Dash there?
Is Dash there yet? No, I'm just interested in see the other modes though, man. Like,
that'd be fun.
Like that tower mode, the tower challenge mode. I want to see what that is too, man. Like, I'm interested to knock the brakes off this thing. So if they gave $1 million, like say if somebody gave you $1 million right now for the 6 of you to be able to work on this game. What would you like to add to it, if you could? $1 million. How much time do you think that'd give you to work on the game, first of all? And then second, what would you like to add to it if you had $1 million?
At
this point,
if you could add more things, more like the dream team or the dream project,
right?
I would just like to maybe add like more characters.
Okay.
So, have something where you can maybe add the bosses in as well as playable characters, but then you'd obviously upgrade them so that they have the same sort of like moveset as a normal character. I think that would be awesome. Also, more bosses just in general, like more planets. So like the screen you saw there, maybe we can have something like multiple parts where you can go to different planets and you can get different abilities from them.
That's cool.
And also and also just like different gameplay modes.
Gotcha.
Those are the top. Like some of them are more effort than others. Like adding a planet with a new boss. That's a whole lot of help. I mean, like you say, with $1 million, you can do a lot. You would be able to like all that. I would say like have a nice roster of about like maybe 10 characters. That would be really cool. And if we're dreaming here, and then having like a true final boss, you definitely want that as well. Who knows if we can ever would be able to get to that. But yeah, those were sort of like I enjoy it when a game has a really nice big cast of characters. It really adds to the replay value. Every single time you go to the rosters, like I want to know how this character plays, and you like pick him up and you like figure out new stuff with them. Which is why I like the final
LNS. Yep, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking that the whole time you were saying that. I was like, that's why me and Goku like LNS. And then I got a bone to pick with LNS too. Goku, like this is my thing with LNS. So Goku knows that I only like playing with characters that come from beat 'em ups in that game. Like there are characters I like that are not from beat 'em ups. Like I like Zangief. I like Cammy. I like Fei Long. I really like Robert. Those are my favorite non-beat 'em up.
But it's their walk animation.
But it's how they. Well, the thing is, like, it takes me out of experience. Like when I'm playing with a beat 'em up character, it feels like a All Stars game. Like they got together and just put all their All Stars together. But when you put a fighting game character and you're like, that character didn't belong in a beat 'em up, so it kind of pulls me out the experience. I'm like, and then they don't walk. They like they skip. Like it looks weird. I'm like. Ugh, I tell Goku, you ain't allowed to walk. You gotta run the whole time. You gotta keep running. I mean, it's a stupid cosmetic thing, but like, yeah, like some characters got really cool animation. Like Birdie, his run animation is awesome. Yeah, so and that's Goku. That's his guy. That's your guy.
That's my homie.
That's your homeboy. But yeah, that game has so many characters, and you're right. Like I really like having a variety of stuff. I really do. So y'all hearing it, chat? You're hearing it first. Here, chat. We need $1 million. We need you guys to donate $1 million so they can get their dream project going. Come on, chat. Let's make it happen. Oh shoot. No, I feel that. So as far
there's lots of little things like that you can do with. Sorry, yeah.
That'll get you some mileage, man. $1 million. So let me ask you this. So, as far as like brawlers, like in beat 'em ups, what beat 'em ups and brawlers do you think has pushed the genre forward, and why?
Okay, so I'm gonna.
And it can be fan games too. It can be fan games too, because like they do great work. Like Bomber Games and the LNS team, they do really good work.
Yeah, I think I'm sounding like a broken record going back and forth between these. It's just because they stood out to me so much, and it is like the. I mentioned it before about Final Fight LNS being sort of the yardstick you should measure yourself against. If you're going to make a retro brawler, that's the sort of quality that you should be aiming for, because they just do it so really well.
Oh, yeah.
And I think in terms of what can be expected from a retro style brawler, they really push the
Mm-hmm.
boundaries. They took that old school feel, the two button setup, and they delivered a really compelling gameplay experience. And the in terms of fan games, it has Final Fight LNS is a big favorite. And I also enjoy the just watching fan videos of people like Mugen, like the Mugen mods.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think like those teams like Daimu, when they get Guard Crush in them, they a lot of those guys work on stuff like that, like even just in their spare time, and you can see a lot of influences from and games like Streets and stuff like that. That is found in that's pulled from those old those fan projects and stuff like that. So, but yeah, so those definitely were, and for me, like games that were doing it, like definitely like you said, for me, I believe Streets remake definitely I believe they with the work that they did so long ago, like laid a really pretty decent blueprint out for what people really wanted. You know what I mean? Because like those games went away for a long time. Like we mentioned, they went away. So
the lessons learned, like that stuff that makes games more fun and more accessible and easier to play. Like any game that sort of adds that, you should be taking notes from. Because that's what a lot of these fan games do, is they just add the stuff that you've gotten used to.
Right. And they optimize the shit out of it. And like Fighting Rage, man, that's another one like that. I believe that's one of the ones that really it let people know. Like that was like a big one for me. It was like, wow, like this game exists. Like I was blown away when I played that. I was like, wow, like I was like this guy gets it. So that was one I believe Guardian Heroes did as well at the time.
Sort of like the Takeover, I think, is a really good story for a brawler. It's like mostly like even our plot is like not really good, but that's another thing that Fighting Rage does really well together with something like the Takeover. They've got a really good writing.
Yeah. Believe it or not, it does, yeah.
And I really appreciate that as like, and because that's if old brawlers didn't really have a story, and I really like it when they try and like write a compelling narrative for something like a brawler. It always seems like it's just going to be like an action movie plot, like Rambo or something like that. But when they try something new and they sort of like something really compelling, I really enjoy that as well.
Yeah, like Fighting Rage is about racism, isn't it?
I think it was.
Yeah, it's about racism.
Yeah.
It was like humans and mutants, right? I think that's what it was. Yeah, the humans, like the mutants didn't like that. Yeah, that's cool, man. Like I really like that too. Did you know, like in Fighting Rage, that the guy that looks like Bison, that first boss that cuts that girl's throat? Like he's holding her and he's like, "Don't come closer, I'll kill her."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can throw a knife at him, and it'll let the girl go. She'll go free, and then like if you kill him, you can take a different route.
Yeah, and I actually think, that's so clever, because I actually figured that out myself. I was like, the first time I played, it's like I went to him and it's like there's no way to get close to him, and I was like, oh, I remember there was a samurai sword, and like when I threw it at him and it worked, I was just like, you feel so clever, like it's like, oh man, I solved the biggest puzzle in the world.
Yeah, and
that was a really great moment, really good design.
Yeah, because that's exactly what happened. I never saw that. I never saw it. It's just like I had a knife, and like I was just like, man, F him, and I just threw it, and then it worked. I was like, what? and it wasn't I had played the game like so many times, I played the game probably like 100 times before I did that, and I was like, holy crap, that was in there the whole time. So, but yeah, so
multiple story pods, so many story pods.
So, I got an interesting question. Like some of the other questions I got in here, you've already answered through osmosis, so I'm not gonna go over all of them. But there's one thing I wanted to talk about is like as far as developers support post launch, and I've always wondered like how in the world do you do that? Like how do you support a game post launch, especially with, like free updates? Like I'm all about it, I ain't gonna complain, but it's just interesting because I know Diablo 3 does that too. Like I know they released like a couple expansions, but like mostly like right now that game is still getting seasonal updates, and it's like how I understand that keeps the community engaged and stuff like that, but like how are you guys able to sustain and be able to do that if you're able to even talk about that?
Well, I think it comes down to the relationship you have with your funding partners, and those can be a wide variety of people. I mean, there's different ways of getting funding. Depending on the country you live in, you can get government funding. You can get angel investors working with you as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I think that's probably where we.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's basically angel investors are just people who they see your product and they believe in it and they sort of say like, let's go, let's make this thing work. And they usually come with very little strings attached. They would say like, if it works, then we share in the profit. If it doesn't, it's not the end of the world.
Gotcha.
And then you get other types of investors where you sort of like. You explain the risks to them beforehand. And then there's the model where you can have post-launch updates where you have content that you sort of like release afterwards. It has to usually be quite significant to be able to get people to sort of like pay for it.
Gotcha.
But it's going to depend a lot on your studio, how you are set up, the type of game, and how you can monetize it. For us, we're in a very, very privileged position to have investors that sort of believe in the product and believe in what we're creating. So they basically supporting development. So while we are getting everything ready for the Switch and PlayStation releases.
Gotcha. Okay. Perfect. So you guys did. So you guys did shop it around to publishers?
Yeah, so the Tanuki Creative team, they Sebastian and Dave went around to a variety of publishers and spoke with all of them, and I think we have a publisher for the PlayStation and Xbox, and that's Sedesco.
Oh, okay, cool.
If I'm not mistaken. So we already have a publisher for going to consoles, and
awesome.
they're going to help us there with marketing and stuff like that. And that's sort of like the deal. But we didn't have a publisher for PC, which is why we did the self-publishing.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. That's weird, like to hear. Like you got console publishing, like it seems like with no problem, but PC you have to do it yourself. I've always like I guess I've heard the opposite before, like where. Yeah, that's so weird. But that's interesting though, super interesting.
You can usually set up your contracts in different ways. You decide that up front, basically, which is what So you decide what platforms you want, what they cover, and you discuss that with them up front and see whether they're happy with it or not, and then you take it forward from there. But that's a unique discussion you have with every publisher and developer has.
Gotcha.
But post launch is usually for a lot of indie games means that there's a period where there's no money coming in and they have to sort of wait and rely on family for resources, which is the unfortunate truth for a lot of indie dev studios. It's after launch that usually, and then you have to wait like 6 months usually for the first payout from Steam, or 3 or 6 months. But we are very fortunate to have a publisher that supports us, and
that's awesome.
Believes in the work that we do.
That's awesome. Let's pick my man up. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Like I had no idea that it would work like that. That's why I wanted to touch on that if you could. But yeah, that's pretty badass. And thanks for sharing that with us, man. Like that's some insightful information.
I'm excited to hear it's going to be on console.
Yeah, I knew that, like, coming out of the gate, it's just, it was going to be some time. Like, they even had mentioned it, like, on their Kickstarter and stuff, so.
Yeah, no, we always plan to.
If you need eyes on that version, man, let me know. Like, I have every console it's coming to, so I can do, I can look for bugs or whatever, but I imagine, like, publisher probably got something in place as well, so. I do know sometimes publishers will get involved with
It comes
that.
to
But
the
yeah, as I was saying, sometimes it's up to the publisher. Yeah,
I would those things
right. No, I get it. Woo. Yeah.
really,
So
when it comes to it.
what was that? Woo. Woo. So no, you're fine. You're fine. So as far as you remember how we talked about fighting games and how fighting games like do season packs and stuff like that now, like I love fighting games, man, and I would love to get back into them, but like sometimes I feel like crummy after I buy one. Like what do you think developers can do to make that feel a little bit better, you know what I mean? As far as like get into a fighting game and not breaking the bank, like how do they make a fair business model, you suppose?
Yeah, that's really anything that doesn't change the gameplay experience fundamentally. That can be downloadable content. So that's usually your costumes and backgrounds and things like that. But
Gotcha.
I actually think that adding a new character to a game changes it fundamentally. It changes the matchups. It changes who your opponents can. And those things work because the characters themselves are locked off. So my friend recently bought Street Fighter 5 for the PlayStation 4, and he was like, "Okay, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna have all the characters." And I just accepted him like, "No, that's not how it works."
Way too much.
I like how you said that. You said that's not how it works. I think we're losing a little bit.
To me, I like the idea of having it.
Yeah, we're losing you. I might have to like end the call and like re-put you back in. Sometimes it happens.
I've been seeing that as a great way for the community to support a fighting game is through stuff like that. When the Capcom Cups are around the corner, they usually sell costumes, and you can buy stuff that helps out the players, the team, and the scene. And that shows your support. And I really I believe in those things. I really like that. And you should then have your costume that shows that I was there at Capcom Cup, whatever, and stuff like that. So those are the type of DLC content that I think it's a good type. And then the characters should always be available because I don't know, I just don't feel right. It's like I said,
and that's exactly how I feel about fighting games. I'm like, I don't mind. Like, I understand this day and age. Like, they have to make money. I get it. Like, it is a business. I get it. And I'm cool with like giving them money for extra content. I have no problem as long as it's fair and not egregious. Like you said, when you buy a character, it completely like changes the matchup. Like it changes everything. Like it's like chess. It's like every piece is important to the matchup. So I can buy costumes and cosmetics. I have no problem with that. I've supported games like that. But when you come to like for instance, Call of Duty used to put into where you can only get guns and loot boxes. That drove me crazy. I was like, I quit playing. And then now you can learn every gun in game through challenges, and it's not time locked off. So it's like I was okay with that, and I said I'll buy all your skins, but in every gun I don't have to pay for them. And that's the thing with fighting games, same way. So yeah, I'm with you on that one. That's how I kind of feel about it. It's like, just I'll support your game, and if you treat me right, but just give everybody access to the characters at least. Like you said, that's fundamentally part of the game. You know what I mean? Oh,
sorry, dude, you're breaking up a lot. Am I coming through clear?
Yeah, we're breaking. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna end the Discord call, and I can just redo it. That's probably what it is. Sometimes that happens. So after these guys, as we get rid of them, I'll end it and restart it. So we should be good. That does happen sometimes. Like when you want it too long, I don't know why it happens, but it will do that. Not today.
Can you hear me, Kevin?
Yeah, I can hear you, but it's like I said, it's breaking up. I have to fix it. Oh, he knocked me out of it. Hold on, let me fix it. Because we're all breaking up right now. Hold on, let me try to fix it right now. Whoop. This should be a quick fix. I'm going to end it and rejoin it. There we go. All right. End it. And he has to I'm going to have to recall him. Hold on. Hold on. Can I call him? Hang on, chat. This will only take a second. All right. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, Peter? Let's see. And like I said, there will be technical difficulties. Didn't I say that? Hey, Peter, end your call and I'll invite you. Let's see. Yeah. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I don't know. Hold on. Let's see. Okay. If he ends his call, it'll work. We'll be alright. We'll figure it out. Don't worry. So just stand by, chat. We are having some technical difficulties, but we will be right back. Like I said, there will be technical difficulties. Just the way it is. Yeah. So let me see. And we're at the end of the game anyway, so it's cool. All right, let's see. Yeah. Cool. All right. All right, so chat, Peter's going to restart his phone. We're going to take a small intermission, and he will be right back. But, yeah, so just stay tuned. We will be right back. He's restarting his phone. All right, cool. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah, we'll be done after this.
I'm ready.
Yeah. Ready? Let me see. Are you there? Is it working? Or I'm not sure if he restarted his phone yet. Yeah. Yeah, so after the game, y'all, at the end of the game, we're going to wrap it up. So we ain't got that much longer, and I do appreciate you guys for being patient with us and hanging out. I do appreciate it much. But we only got a little bit left to go, so. And he went through most of the questions that I had for us. Cool. Already restarted his phone. All right. Let's see. All right, let's see. All right. Let's see if it works. Let's see. All right, let me see if I can hear
I'm still good.
Yeah, so it works. There we go. All right. Let's see. We answered that. Yep. Yeah, we got all the big questions out. Yeah, he's using Discord on his phone. I didn't even know he's using his phone. I saw the phone thing. I just put two and two together. But yeah, it sounded good for being on his phone, didn't it? Yeah. every time I use my phone, dude, it's crap. It is. It's trash for me. Like, I don't know why. It just always is. Like, everybody has better luck than me. It sucks for me. And I had two different phones, and it's just I don't know. It's my luck. But yeah, so I'm just waiting on him to join the chat. So we'll see. Yeah, I've had him long enough. 3 hours. Yeah, 3 hours. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. You know, technical difficulties aside, but yeah, it's all right. And that does happen in Discord. The longer you're in it, sometimes it does do that. You just have to read. All right, cool. All right, we there? Can you hear me? There we go. I got you loud and clear.
All right. Sorry,
There we
man.
go. Nah, you're fine, dude. Like I said, this is a super chill, casual ass stream.
Cool, man. I was like tapping on my phone. It's like you say hang up, but like click the hang up button. My phone is just no.
Phone didn't want to go. The phone was enjoying the stream too. Yeah, the phone was enjoying it too. So, but yeah, what you were saying, I agree with. You were talking about how they should, make the characters accessible to everybody and then sell the cosmetics and other things that the community can support. Because I'm fine with that. I'm fine with just I don't want to buy individual chess pieces. I don't want to do that. Like
but I can understand why they do that, and that's the problem as a developer. I think and like selling characters is a viable business model.
Yep,
but
it is.
It has unfortunately. It creates that sort of a perception with new players that I really want to get into this game, but I'm going to spend, so much money just getting all the characters and stuff, and it's a barrier to entry. And
yep,
we want more people to play the games, not less.
Right, that's the main thing. Like, it's we have to figure out a balance. That's the main thing.
That's why I like the Killer Instinct model where they had the
yes. I talk about that all the time. Like, that's the first thing I reference because, like, you didn't pay, like, for the full game, you didn't pay no more than $60, but it got everybody into it. Into it. So, yeah, I was really, really super happy about that. Super duper happy.
And that was a really good business model as well. So I really hope, like, that's one I would say, like, I would get fully behind.
Yep. I sure would.
And I bought Killer Instinct twice just because it's such a good game. And you just need people to play it at first, and that's a really good way to do it.
And I bought Killer Instinct twice too, because I was like, I support this because it was such a fair business model, man. It was just super fair. You can buy it at every tier. You can buy all in for $60, or excluding like if the original Killer Instinct games. You can buy them for $60, or you can buy characters a la carte, one at a time, or you can try to rotating character. You can play it completely for free. They added the Shadow Lords mode. It's just I supported that. Like, I will throw money at that. You see what I'm saying? Because it was fair. It was super fair. So, but one of the last topics I wanted to bring up before we close it down for the night. Or for the day, or for the night for you. It's our day. We about to get off and get lunch in a second. But Shredder's Revenge, that's getting ready to come out. So I liked a lot of the stuff that I saw about that game. One bone I had to pick was with Scott Pilgrim because River City Ransom Underground's the only River City Ransom game I like, and Scott Pilgrim's a lot like River City Ransom. The combat just didn't do it for me. It didn't do it for me. So, and it's because a lot of it is like sound effects and stuff like that. So, Shredder's Revenge, man, the combat looks really good. Like, it looks solid. And because it looks like you can do, juggle. So I'm like, that looks awesome. But the sound effects, man, like, I don't like the sound effects. Like, it sounds, and it could be a Nickelodeon thing because Nickelodeon is the publisher. So, they have the license. So it could be that. Like, but each hit, like, even when Leonardo's hitting, sounds like they're using Nerf bats. Like, it sounds so soft. It's like, thoop, thoop, thoop.
Instead of Nerf bat.
It's like, and it should be a slice. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah, if you want to look at a game that takes it almost a little bit too far, it's the King of Fighters games. The crack that they have on their attacks are like the loudest of any game.
Yes.
And I really love it.
Yeah.
But games generally they need that crack when you hit something. I don't know. It might just be a personal thing as well, but it gives the snap. I don't know. A good sound effect so far.
Well, speaking of that, like, Jazz is a moon, like this move right here. I forget what it's called. A moon. I can't think of it right now, but it has a satisfying crash when you hit it. And ASMR is like really important to games. People don't realize that ASMR is something that's like super important because it engages the character. Like David Jaffe talked about that with Call of Duty's hit markers. Like I remember you talking about left trigger or right trigger, how like it makes that part of the brain, the endorphins fire off. ASMR has a lot to do with that. So like you hitting something, we know what it should sound like. Like if you hit something with a blade, you know you got an idea what it should sound like. You know what I mean? So that's why for me. Like a game with like really good sound effects is really important. Like it's so important. But yeah, but like that's the one thing. And I was thinking, I was like, maybe it's just a Nickelodeon thing. They don't want it too violent. You know what I mean? Because it's for kids. It could be that, I don't know. But that's everything else about that game. It looks excellent.
Yeah, the sound effects sort of give me a feeling of. It feels as though you're playing inside of a toy itself. It's sort of like the characters are like things, which is not a bad thing. I think it really does work well with the art style. The pixel art style takes you back to that time. So they're making it work like that. But I just, unfortunately, I come from an older generation. Where, like,
Goku's raising his hand.
Yeah, I mean, you had 3 effects. It was for light, medium, and heavy, and you used them.
Yep.
What
do they call it? They call it the magic. What is it called? The magic. There's a phrase for that now. When you go from light, medium, heavy, and then special. Series. What is it called? What's it called again?
The magic series.
Magic 3.
No, there's something. There's another name for it. Hold on, I think Magic Series. That's what it's called.
Magic Series.
Magic Series. Yeah, the Magic Series. Yeah, you go light, medium, hard, special. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that game too, cause like it's tapping into the nostalgia, and like I saw you can juggle, and I'm like, yes, thank you, cause Goku will play it with me now.
Yep.
Goku ain't about to play Turtles of Time with me.
I mean, I like that game. I remember it, but I've been spoiled now that we've played the Final Fights and everything, where you can just continue comboing. Like I can't do that 1, 2, 3, and you're done.
Yeah.
But I think the Turtles game is really going to be like they pushing, like from what I've seen, they're pushing the environmental interaction to a new level, and that's definitely something I want to check out, because I know a lot of brawlers don't. I haven't seen a lot of brawlers that really take interaction with the background. You're sort of like to the next level, and they're doing that the way you can. Like you can hit like a what's it, those
Injustice,
and you hit like a throw like a manhole covers and things like that, and just it makes the world feel more cohesive. It's like you can manipulate it.
Right, it feels like you're part of the world.
See what they do with that.
Yeah, I'm interested. I was hoping like on the tower and the what was it, Neon Boulevard, the little dragon that's walking, you can see his eyeball in the back. I was hoping his arm was going to come through and just grab me. that thing looks scary, man. I was like, what is that thing out there? That's a kaiju, is that what they call them? Kaijus? A big kaiju. So, but hey, I want to give you your night back, man. Thanks for hanging out with us, Peter, man. We really do appreciate it. We appreciate you having you, man. It was awesome having you. You've been a fun guest, man, and it's first time like really, talking to you over the phone. Like we've always just talked over Discord, but yeah, it's good that good to hear you. And I was happy you got to go visit the team too. That was awesome. Like, you got to travel to the Netherlands and see the team. That was pretty badass. And but yeah, man, it was.
I'm going to swing by your house as well.
Yeah, so like I said, man, it was great having you. Like, we really, really appreciate it, man. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. Just giving us insight on everything, man, and even just putting this game together, man. We really do appreciate that. So
I love the game.
Yeah, we really love it, man. So where can people find you, Peter? Twitch, Twitter, wherever. Where can people find you? Go ahead and plug.
So on Twitter is basically where I do most of my social media. It's @ChatteredBrawl, and that's the account I sort of manage, and it's the account for Shattered Realms, and I repost all the stuff that comes from Tanuki Creative, which is basically the team that I'm working with at the moment. So yeah, but that's where you can find me. If you want to chat, you can just drop me a message in Twitch or Twitter. And yeah.
Gotcha. All right, and Goku, thanks for hanging out, man. It's always a pleasure. We always have fun together, man. Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us, man. Where can people find you?
Me?
Yeah, where can people find you? You got a Twitch?
I think I have a Discord.
You got a Twitch?
No.
Can people find you on Twitch?
Yeah, I'm on Twitch too. Yeah.
What's your Twitch handle?
I gotta double check.
He's got to double check it. Hey,
Yeah.
you know, you didn't expect this to come. He used to give it out.
I want to say it's just Son Goku Black, really.
Is it Son Goku Black? Let me find it. He's on my. I have him on Twitch. You're one of my friends, so.
Yep, Son Goku Black 81.
Okay, so it's twitch.tv/Son Goku Black 81.
Yeah,
that's where people can find you.
I do a lot of Rocket League, and I mean, I play a couple other things. Dauntless, something I used to play a lot. I'm kind of playing it again now because I had to restart for the Xbox, and I was on Switch initially. Yeah, other than that.
Very cool, my friend. I appreciate that. Well, everybody know where they can find me. You know, twitch.tv/Toph the Earthbender. You can also, find me on Twitter at Toph Beifong, but the F is a 7, so it's TOPHBEI 7ONG. So thanks for hanging out with us, chat. We appreciate it. We hope you guys enjoyed the show. I'm not sure if I'll do more content like this, but if the opportunity ever strikes, I'll definitely put something on the schedule and let you guys know. But again, thanks for hanging out. Hope you guys enjoyed the game, and you enjoy you guys' day and keep them assholes tight.